Want to know how to swim underwater forever? Or what the absolute best way to enchant weapons is? Here are 837 super secret Minecraft things you probably didn't know. Did you know in recent Minecraft versions you can actually clutch without any items? All you need to do is hit crouch and space just before landing, and voila! I'm alive! One thing only pros know is if you push yourself into the end portal from underneath with a piston, you won't spawn on the main end island, and instead will spawn at your overworld coordinates in the end, which can make tons of super deadly traps. Soul Sand already slows your player down a ton, but adding Ice Below will make you move even slower. But there's a way to be even slower. Cobwebs! You now have the slowest floor known to man. But if you're fast enough, you can actually use a bow and arrow to break minecarts and boats to troll your friends. Just make sure you got good aim, or you might just pull a JF Kennedy. And while we're at it, did you know evokers can turn blue-dyed sheep into red-dyed sheep? Yeah, pretty wild. Who knew they hated blue? The biggest mistake people make is to mine randomly for the resources they need. You want diamonds? Go to a river. It turns out that if a river has a clay patch, that is a sign there are diamonds below. Start at the center of the clay patch, go 2 blocks in the Z direction, and mine straight down. You'll be swimming in diamonds! But never mine straight down. If you're not careful, you can break the block below you and fall straight into some lava. So, always mine down with 2 blocks and have a water bucket so you can clutch. So many people make this simple mistake. Stop making low ceilings! Even when mining, a 2-block tall staircase tunnel is a recipe for bonked heads whenever you go up or down. Also, doesn't a high ceiling look so much nicer in your house? Who doesn't love farming? But a big mistake people make is to stick a single block of water and surround it in veg. That water can only feed so many plants. So instead, set the water and vegetables in rows, and your plants will actually grow faster. Minecraft players all over the world use this incredibly slow method of getting around. People love using bubble columns to zip up to some high tower, but getting down, they use another water shaft. Why waste the time when you can make a shaft, leave it empty, and just have a block of snow or water at the bottom to break your fall? Inside the house is a huge bed that lets you sleep under the covers in this genius hack. Surround your bed in trapdoors and make a larger frame, and cover the top of your beds with carpet. Hanging signs are a fun recent addition. You can use them to make an innovative, if scary looking bridge. What's amazing about this is that players can walk on it, but a lot of mobs will fall through the gaps. You can also use the hanging signs to make a broken bridge. This can hang off the side of a cliff for a fun and foreboding decoration to a castle or village. A secret stairway can be a great feature for your house, and all it takes is some redstones and some sticky pistons connected to your stairs in this crazy trick. The backs of the stairs will blend in with the rest of the wall until you turn the handle and expose it all. Pros are always trying to take the best photos. Here's some simple tips and tricks. Turn your FOV down to around 30. This makes much less distortion and keeps the focus on the subject. And make sure to have a little something interesting in the background and foreground, as long as it isn't distracting from the subject. Get the most out of your tools by using them efficiently. With a pickaxe, you need to dig at its maximum range. This gives you enough space to walk forward and dig without stopping, and lets you break blocks faster than you would otherwise. Want to make a huge tower that's near unbreakable? Here's a super fast way of doing it. Make the outline of your tower at the height you want the tower to be. Put lava pouring off the sides, and then pour water from atop that. Remove the water, and you've got a near impenetrable fortress. You need to know where you're digging and what you want out of it before starting your journey. If you want diamonds, consult this chart. It shows you that diamonds start generating at Y16 and get more and more common the further down you go, with the most appearing right at the bottom of the world. Use ravines! It's a trick that all pros know because you don't need to waste time digging a hole when one has already been made for you. There's a greater chance of getting lost, sure, but you can dive right down and find exposed rare ones without using a pickaxe once. Everyone knows that you can't stack different types of slabs on top of each other. Apparently, if you go to the world border and make a setup like this, you can use a piston and yep, it makes a really cursed looking block. This one's true. Mangrove trees are super cool, especially because they're the only tree that can be grown underwater, right? Well, the propagule is the only thing that can actually be placed down here and works perfectly. Saplings, however, get broken almost immediately. Almost immediately. If you're quick enough, you can actually grow trees down here. This definitely doesn't feel right, but hey, the game's a game. This one says that if you spawn a cat in a witch hut, it'll always be black. I've spawned about 50 of these things in here, and they're all black, so I'll say that's confirmed. Axolotls are amazing, but can you trust them? A secret message was found in Minecraft's release notes saying, the axolotls are not what they seem. One can only imagine what sinister secrets those adorable axolotls are hiding. Finding a large diamond vein is great. What's even crazier is a maximum diamond vein. It's a whopping 48 diamonds. This only happens when the max diamond vein in a chunk connects to 4 other chunks at the same time. Unlike regular skeletons, nether skeletons don't have bows. But if they did, the bow would shoot fire, and there's already plenty of that in the nether already. This quick hack lets you harvest harvest an entire field in an instant. Plants need a certain light level, so if you have a redstone lantern to provide that, then switch it off when it's time to harvest, all the veg will burst out at once, ready to be picked up or collected in hoppers under the soil. This hack is a fresh twist on a classic. Paintings can be used to hide entrances, but that can be too obvious. Instead, hide a pressure plate behind it that activates when you drop an item through the painting, activating whatever secret mechanism you want to set up. Sometimes smart hacks use the weirdest items, like this stairway of dripstone and smaller cake slices. Use a horse which can travel over a single block height without jumping, and the weird hitboxes of the items will send you rocketing up the stairway at high speeds. Tired of creatures jumping fences? Try this hack where you set down a bunch of trapdoors and flip them up. They'll act as fences that the AI just can't understand and won't be able to escape from. Here's Johnny, the murderous vindicator, and here he is in this weird hack, killing these animals for our food. See, when you tag a vindicator with the name Johnny, he will kill anything in sight. And if you trap him in a mob farm, the animals he kills drop their loot into the chest without you having to lift a finger. This secret ender pearl technique lets you phase through walls and can even get through the roof of the nether. Climb a ladder up to the bedrock ceiling, pearl into the bedrock, and keep going forward. You'll phase through the top. In Minecraft, there's a secret world called Debug World. To find it, you have to press Shift and click on the world type button. Press it enough and you'll find Debug World, which is a vast void filled with every single asset in the game. This sneaky little trick lets you copy a structure you've made and paste it wherever you like. Create a grand statue and fill your friend's world with your monstrous art. Ward off hoglins with just a funny little mushroom. These hulking pig beasts are terribly afraid of the warped fungus. No idea why, but at least it keeps them away from my pet Strider. This portal makes no sense! It's a portal spawned in only one seed so far, and for some reason the end portal is totally glitched. It generated with 6 eyes already in, and somehow created a portal that only covers 6 blocks. Curing zombie villagers takes way too long, but did you know that you can speed this up? It turns out there's a secret mechanic where placing 14 iron bars or 7 beds within a space of 4 blocks around the villager speeds up the curing process. Withers are a terrifying enemy with their deadly projectiles, but there's actually a secret trick that Minecraft has been hiding. If you set up 4 armor stands around you, they will take the hit from the wither skulls, receiving very little damage and protecting you completely. The new skulk blocks spread quick, but secretly there's a special tag that decides what can change into skulk and what can't. It turns out slabs can't change. You can use them to write secret messages or act as markers among the spreading skulk. With 1.20 now here, the new deep dark biome brought a bunch of secrets. This includes making the gold hoe one of the best tools in the game. It breaks skulk blocks faster than any other tool. And add that to the fact that it has the longest melee reach of any weapon, and the hoe has become a necessary item in your inventory. Explosions can send things flying, but if you use it too much, something crazy can happen. If you set this up, you can fill the minecart with TNT and blast a mob across the world. But if it goes too far, too fast, it'll reach an unloaded chunk and stop dead in the air, frozen in space. It'll only fall when you head over to load the chunk. Did you know that the sun and moon are actually always round? They rotate around the earth as you'd expect, but the color of the sky actually isn't tied to them. So if you look down below the world while it's night, you'll see the sun still shining in the dark. This is most obvious when you play a mod like Skyblock. This weird detail has been staring you in the face for years. What's wrong with this image? The helmet! For as long as helmets have been in the game, they have had this icon in your inventory. But when you wear them, they look completely different. Check out this book I have. Oh wait, no. It's actually a leather cap! See, the new leather trims that came in with 1.20 lets you use armor trims to customize your look. This particular trim makes it look almost exactly like the books the librarians wear on their head. Speaking of leather armor, did you know that you can dye your armor multiple times to get slightly different shades? Use enough dye and you have access to all 16.17 million possible colors in Minecraft. Now I can't look at boring regular leather armor without seeing all the colors it could be. Sniffers are like big puppies. Seriously, they're actually based somewhat on corgis. Their dig animation has them splay out their legs, which dogs do, particularly corgis, when they're hard or need to lie down. Lying down like this is officially called a sploot. Stuck up on boats so you can cross any body of lava, including lava columns. If you put a boat into the lava, you have a split second to jump off it before it breaks. Leap forward and put another boat down to continue across the lava, until finally you reach your friend's base. Did you know you can actually do a super jump with just a flint and steel? Set fire to a block and jump into the fire. Jump again as you take damage and the impact will propel you a little higher, letting you jump 2 and sometimes 3 blocks high. No fence can stand in your way. Disguise yourself in deceptive Minecraft skins. Some of these are banned in many servers, but if you dress to look like the blocks the base is made of, you can blend in and sneak in behind your friends as they walk through the front door. Spawn a wither to help you break in. The wither's attacks can destroy almost any block in Minecraft, so lure it to your friend's base and watch it make massive holes even in obsidian walls. Jump in and take their stuff. Use their XP farms against them. It looks like this, and the bottom of the farm will often end up inside their base because it's more convenient for them. Climb into the top of the XP farm. It'll be funneled down to the bottom, and you can break out into the heart of their base. This pig can walk through walls. If you ride a pig up to the wall of the base and then get off it, you can hit the pig, and the brief damage reaction will nudge the pig a tiny bit into the wall. Quickly ride the pig, and it will continue going forward, letting you ride right through the wall. Don't worry about punching your pig either. Just means free bacon in your friend's house. What if the base is hidden or has a secret entrance you just can't figure out? If you know the general area the base is, just eat a chorus fruit. It can teleport you to some crazy places, including through solid walls, ignoring the secret entrance completely. Did you know you can push the Ender Dragon through an end gate into the overworld? You need this big apparatus and a simple flying machine. There's a way to push the dragon into an end gate, which will spawn a dragon in the overworld. Watch the chaos for as long as you can before the server takes revenge with a ban. Trick everyone into getting trapped on the nether roof. It's easy. Just break the portal in the nether and remake it on the roof. It's nearly impossible to get back down from there, especially when you break the portal once people have walked through. You won't be able to get off the roof either, but who cares? You're getting banned anyway. Fill the server with mobs that won't add to the mob cap. Endermen holding blocks, zombie villagers, vexes, shulkers, and all sorts of others don't have a limit. If you gather enough of them, it'll lag the server to a crawl. Do your friends love jumping from high places into water? Replace the water with blue-tinted glass. From afar, it looks identical, and it's hilarious watching the server owner fall to their death because of it. Until you get banned, of course. To face new players with the curse of binding. If you put a dispenser and a pressure plate at world spawn, any new player will activate it when they spawn. Fill it with Pumpkin's curse with binding so they can't take it off. It's an awful welcome for new players that the server owner will despise. Most servers hate spam, and even Mojang have rules against it. But what if you just love Minecraft Story Mode a whole lot? Type out the whole script for Minecraft Story Mode into chat and see how long it takes for people to ban you for spamming. Bedrock is one of the only unbreakable blocks in Minecraft that can be found anywhere, but breaking it is actually quite simple. First, you need 2 TNT blocks, 1 obsidian, 2 pistons, 1 lever, and a trapdoor. Grab some nearby blocks and then place the blocks like this. Get near the trapdoor and click the lever. This should put you under the trapdoor. This will activate the piston and the TNT as well. You need to be looking at the corner of the obsidian block and start spamming with your piston. When the TNT explodes, you will place the piston and that will break the bedrock, or you'll explode. Enchanted books are a challenge to find if you have no villagers nearby. But did you know that different biomes have different chances to find these books? If you have a Badlands biome in 1.20, you will actually have better luck at finding these books. You have a 0.8% chance of finding these books without any enhancements. But in the Mesa, this goes up to 1.2%. Villagers are an extremely common mob, but there's actually a secret villager you can't find walking around naturally. And that's the jungle villager. At one point, jungle villagers were going to be added to Minecraft, but Mojang decided not to implement them. But they still kept this colorful guy in the game. All you have to do is take 2 villagers to a jungle biome, breed them, and then bam, you get yourself a one-of-a-kind jungle villager. Despite being very useful, bamboo can be super annoying to get through. Most people will run through these bamboo jungles, breaking everything down with their axe. But did you know that the best option here is actually to hit it with your sword? And to make this even more insane, you can even do this with mining fatigue. If you look closely at your inventory, you will see that the hotbar is actually a repurposed sand texture. Turn the brightness up a bit, and you can see the sand in the background. You've heard of going above bedrock, but what about below it? In an older version of Minecraft, you could phase through the bottom layer of bedrock by placing a boat on the thinnest part of the water. Okay, this was a horrible idea, Dad! I wish I could unsee the flower textures forever. Mojang decided to curse my eyes by using 2D sprites for all potted plants and not making them 3D. This almost feels as wrong as mining diamonds with a stone pickaxe.
Where the the diamonds?
Being able to place floating lava should be a war crime. However, by using 7 slime blocks, 5 sticky pistons, 4 redstone blocks, and 4 obsidian, you can set up this machine that lets you place floating lava blocks. The best part is, this isn't even limited to lava. You can do the same thing with water. Rails are one of the best things Mojang added to the game, but we can make them even better by simply putting a trapdoor below them, which makes it so they can float in midair. Pair this up with a contraption like the one shown to get minecarts with infinite momentum, and you can quite literally have the most illegal railway in the game. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Bone meal is one of the most important resources you need in order to get rich fast, and in the Cherry Grove biome, you can get a huge amount of it in just a few minutes. To do so, quickly harvest all the pink petals you see, or you can be even faster and use a water bucket and place the water like this to get a huge flow. Give me all those petals! Bow charge animations are straight up boring! Mojang should have done something similar to this bow charger pack instead. This changes the color of the bow as it begins to charge from red to green once fully charged. Nothing hits harder than losing a bow contest to a skeleton. One of the most annoying things is this disgusting overlay once you put on a pumpkin. Luckily for us though, we can fix this easily by using this no pumpkin overlay. With that overlay gone, you can finally see! It's like wearing glasses all over again. Borderless glass is something that we would never have to download. Just look at the difference with and without this pack. It's crazy. The best part is that you don't even need Optifine to run this. Finally, my OCD is fixed. What do you think of when I say degrading tools? No, we aren't going to be yelling at them. This pack makes tools lose parts of their UI models as you use them. This works even for something like the flint and steel. It's a small change, but makes a world of difference. It takes 2.5 minutes for your hunger to run out once you start sprinting. But what if I told you that you could run forever? All you have to do is hit an entity after you start sprinting and your hunger will never run out. Why did Mojang patch this? I'm going to show you a magic trick by making all of these mobs disappear. Unfortunately, this magic was a lie, just like when my mom said she loves me. Anyways, you can do the exact same thing by propelling yourself into the sky with elytra and fireworks. The best part is that this works in every single dimension, including the nether. Only noobs use ladders to climb. Real pros use honey blocks instead. If you place water between honey blocks like this, you can climb up much faster than any ladder. Honey block 1, ladder 0. Are you tired of dealing with TNT at the bottom of desert temples? Well, you're missing out on how useful it actually is. By being sneaky enough and avoiding the pressure plate, you can dig straight down to the TNT and make it blow up. This instantly breaks all the chests and saves you tons of precious time. If you're tired of X-rayers stealing items, you'll love this one. When placing down a chest, surround it with a low-tier ore like coal. This makes it so that anyone who wants to grief you is never gonna find your treasures. The biggest problem with boats is that they are incredibly slow. That's why I use dolphins. Wait, let me explain. Usually, boats can only cover a few blocks per second at most. But by using a lead to attach yourself to a dolphin, you can cover nearly 40 blocks a second. This is a huge help in locating ocean monuments and shipwrecks since you don't have to deal with the barely see-through water surface. Not only that, you can now become an Olympic dolphin rider too. Have you ever been sitting watching YouTube in your bed at 2 a.m. and suddenly the brightness on your phone screen has gone up? Dad! A rejected idea for Minecraft was to have an opposite potion to the darkness effect. A brightness effect where the screen would become so bright that you could not see anything, and you essentially became sunblind. I can see why this one was rejected as, wow, this is bright. Careful, don't make a sound. Achoo! Oh no! Run away! I think I got away. I wish I had this next rejected Minecraft idea. The potion of silence, which was as you would expect, makes you silent. Swift Sneak is a very useful enchantment, but sometimes I do not want to break my finger holding down the crouch key. If I had this potion, I could run straight by this warden and he would not even flinch. Mods have not had many updates since their release besides new or retextured versions popping up here and there. There was, however, originally a plan for an iron boat, but I think we can see why this one was rejected. The boat probably would not work very well. I want a pet! No, I'm not after a cat. Parrots are kind of boring. Dogs? Ew! Wait, I haven't seen this one before. Yes, you heard it here. Originally, dolphins were meant to be tameable and rideable like an underwater horse. Why this idea was scrapped is beyond me. Please, Minecraft, give me a mob I can ride underwater. I love connecting my treehouse to other trees in Minecraft. However, I have never found a good way to make these authentic-looking rope bridges. Until now! If you use acacia slabs and lightning rods, you can create this unique bridge design that even matches the area you are in. Just make sure you don't fall through the... Sharks are almost added to Minecraft, and even to this day, I wish they were. However, did you know that you can actually have jellyfish in your exotic fish aquarium? Simply use a pink glass block and a hanging root underneath it to give you this amazing jellyfish for your own personal aquarium. Sometimes people want to have some fun and sell some items to their friends on a server, and this next build hack really lets you have that amazing Japanese-inspired design. This ramen stand uses armor stands underground to create these truly authentic seats. I just love this design. As far as seating goes in Minecraft, there really is not many options. However, this seat completely breaks the rules. By using blocks like slabs, stairs, iron trapdoors, and a minecart, you can make this amazing modern chair design. And the best part is, it actually works. You should always have a hoe that is enchanted with Fortune 3 when farming, which will allow you to quite literally triple the rate at which you can get food. For example, you can get up to 9 melon slices for each melon block farmed. This enchantment is so broken. Farming levels can be one of the most time-consuming aspects of playing Minecraft, especially when you don't have an XP farm starting out. So, one of the best ways to get levels while being relatively safe is by farming nether quartz in the nether. Not only does this have a 45% chance of spawning, meaning it's literally everywhere, but it is also the best source to farm for experience right after diamond, since it'll give you experience ranging anywhere between 2 to 5 points. Once you reach higher levels, you might find yourself struggling with experience. So, here's how to get infinite XP while using a furnace. Smelt a material like iron, and just as it's done, swap it out with an already smelted iron. The only currency this will cost is your patience. Although it doesn't look it, villagers can actually wear armor. They can even wear mob heads and pumpkins, but nobody wants to see that. You can use dispensers to equip it to them, and even put enchantments on each piece of armor, including Thorns enchantment. God, that's an embarrassing death message. Oh, and by the way, that mob head thing works on piglins too, and it's somehow even worse! Everyone knows how cowardly villagers are, especially around anything that even has a possibility of hurting them. But I bet you never noticed they actually sweat during raids. At least, I heard that sweat. They really don't have much to worry about though, because some of these villagers actually have morals? These scary ex-guys called Vindicators refuse to kill baby villagers, so at least when they grow up, they can rebuild the village. Never mind. Speaking of speed, normal slimes are slow, but this slime will catch you. Slime speed is based on slime size, so size 8 and above goes faster than even a player sprinting. Want a chair you can actually sit in? Try this secret technique by guiding a llama to your house, disguising it as a chair, and turning the llama invisible. All that will be left will be the carpet, which looks great as a cushion. It's a fun fact that also happens in real life! In the game, axolotls will not follow you unless you have a live fish in a bucket. If the fish is just dead in your hand, they won't care. This is because real axolotls only eat live fish, and the developers wanted to show that in the game. Squid can survive out of water for about 15 seconds before it runs out of oxygen. But there's a secret fact here. The fact that the squid has a special change to its animation, slowing down as the oxygen runs out. Minecraft's biggest problem is that the Ender Dragon doesn't look like a dragon at all. So we're gonna be fixing that with Ender Dragon Revamped. This texture pack transforms him from a harmless lizard to an actual terrifying dragon. Combine this with these enhanced boss bars, and your pants are gonna be going from blue to brown real quick. Someone help! There's hot singles in my area! If you want to have the same problem as me, this pack allows you to change that awful, boring message as you go to bed. You can't sleep yet. There are monsters nearby. Get out of here! Looking at the textures for crops and flowers makes me want to throw up. I mean, why even use sprites and 2D models in 2024? Instead, Mojang should have taken a page out of 3D Tomatoes' book. Not only does this pack use much better models, you can even see the tomatoes at each stage of their growth. Back when Minecraft was just a small indie game, they were able to create updates incredibly quickly. However, the amount of time it took to fully create Minecraft will shock you. It only took Notch 6 days to create the first full version of Minecraft. Yet nowadays, it takes him a year to implement a single mob from a rigged vote. Come on, Mojang. Notch is known for being a bit controversial. However, the reason he sold Minecraft is actually quite wholesome. When Notch was looking to sell his shares in Minecraft, he took to Twitter and found out Microsoft were interested in buying them. But before selling them, Notch asked that his staff be taken care of going forward. Well, at least one good thing came out of the selling of Minecraft. When you create a world in Minecraft, you have a couple of different options. From a regular world to an amplified Minecraft world, there are so many options. However, did you know there is actually a hidden world type called debug mode? Debug mode is a hidden world type that can be accessed by holding the Alt key while pressing the world type button. This world is way too trippy for my liking. Minecraft has a long history of cancelled updates and features from the satchel all the way to the numerous cancelled mob votes. However, one cancelled feature was actually removed all the way back in Java Edition 1.2.1, and these are hieroglyphic textures, believed to have been planned to come into the game alongside the desert pyramids. These hieroglyphics were scrapped and never added. Personally, I think dogs in Minecraft need more customization. Yes, I know they are adding the wolf armor in the next update, but I want to dream bigger. In the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, there was a hilarious glitch that would actually let you dye the entire dog. Ugh, why did they need to have more dogs? Oh no! I'm gonna die in this lava! Well, actually, no. As I have an expert way to get out of this certain death situation. If you are burning in lava, quit the game and then relog. When you log back in, you will actually have 3 seconds of complete invincibility. But be warned, it won't get rid of the burning, so you may still burn to a crisp once you get out. Villages are a staple part of Minecraft, needed for everything from exploiting the trade market to summoning their iron protectors just for them to burn in your iron farm. However, when villagers were first added, they were only meant to spawn in the plains biome. But one mistake within Minecraft's code had them spawning in the ocean and having really nice wooden paths. Mojang realized the mistake and panicked, thinking thinking of how to deal with it. So they decided to make it a feature instead. Yeah, it's now a feature, not a mistake. There is a secret item in Minecraft that Mojang really does not want you to know about. Certain blocks in Minecraft are unattainable without the use of commands. The command blocks, barriers, and this elusive item, the debug stick. This was actually introduced as Mojang kept adding blocks to the game that were becoming buggier and buggier. Hitting a block with this stick will actually change the state of a block. And the funniest part, this mistake is meant to fix other mistakes! No! This guy's gonna steal my diamonds! Quick, quick! Wait, what's in this chest? Oh, it's scaffolding! I can use this! I just have to place scaffolding like this, and then spam clicking, and then I can get away! Yes! This mistake is something that Minecraft seriously needs to remove, as it can be very overpowered in these manhunt situations, but it is very fun to do. Camels look just delightful when they're walking around. Yeah, look at their little ears, I love them. Apparently cauldrons can totally absorb full damage. If they're filled with water, surely I won't die. Oh, okay, what if I actually try to get in the middle? Well, even that doesn't work! I literally fell into water. Fine, if that doesn't work, what if I try without water? It works! They even bounce you. Crazy, right? I'm just kidding, these are slime blocks. Tricked you though, didn't I? Whenever you try to run underwater, you just get put into the swimming animation. But apparently this changes when you run on mud. Hey, it's true. I think this is because mud is just a little bit shorter than a regular block, so it should work with soul sand too, right? Oh wait, bubbles, yeah! I'm not smart. Bedrock is one of the weirdest world generations out of any version of Minecraft. However, this first generation feature I could have sworn was exclusive to mods. In Bedrock Edition, there is a chance that when you spawn into a forest of any kind, you will find a log on the ground, almost as if a tree has fallen over. Why this didn't exist in Java Edition, we may never know. It seems that at one point, Microsoft were considering changing up the item pool for Bedrock Edition, as there are numerous textures that were exclusively found within the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft. These textures include things like a camera, chalkboard, and a weird blue textured rose. These features were never fully implemented, but they were exclusive to Bedrock Edition for a while. There is, of course, one block that has become famous for exclusively being in the Pocket Edition of Minecraft, and that is the Nether Reactor Core. The Nether Reactor Core was implemented by Minecraft to tackle the problems mobile devices would have with generating the Nether. It was a very useful way of getting Nether blocks despite how creepy it looked. I do not feel good about this. Since the Aquatic update, there have not been many new features added to the oceans of Minecraft. Well, at least for Java Edition. In Bedrock Edition, Microsoft decided they would implement yet another adorable creature into the games when they added the baby dolphin. Why can't this be in Java too? It is so adorable. When Copper was revealed to the community, we all jumped with joy to finally get a new type of armor and new tools. And all we got was a weird brown rod. What does this even do now? Ow! 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 Thanks, Notch. Wasn't wearing an entire suit of armor. Dad! Wait, how did this happen? Originally, copper armor was meant to be attainable, until Mojang realized having the lightning rod be made of the same material as armor was perhaps a bit dangerous. It is so unfair. This poor group of pillagers are trying desperately to take on this village, but somehow they have 100 iron golems defending their base. Unfortunately for these pillagers, this rejected idea would have given them their own version of the iron golem, one that was instead meant to attack the villagers instead of defending them. Although they do have the Ravager now, so I think they win actually. The World of Color update really did add a lot of new opportunities to the game, but the different colors they added are kind of restrictive. You could either have pink wall or pink concrete. However, this next rejected feature would have seen various different colors of oak planks by having them be dyeable. Imagine having a house made of entirely bright yellow wooden planks. Perfection. Wait, hang on. These are just regular planks. Using shears to collect leaves? Big mistake. You could instead use a hoe, as more modern updates of the game have improved the hoe. And with enchantments like Fortune, you can get way more items, way faster. Path blocks. They look great in a lot of spaces, but they're slightly shorter than the average block. If there's any empty space next to a path block, even if another block is on top trying to hide it, the gap will still be there. Look at it, you can see right through that. Piston door lag! It's a big mistake that happens all the time. Pistons pushing blocks out of the way looks all fancy, but takes precious time when you're trying to get through. Put the pressure plate a few blocks back so you don't smash your face on an automatic door or secret entrance. A major mistake when making an enchantment table is forgetting to bring the right items. Make sure any lapis or books are nearby in chests so you don't have to remember at all. Speaking of storage, what on earth is this? Nothing is sorted, it's all just thrown together any which way. Set aside different chests to hold different things. Want tools? Make a tool chest so you know where all your tools are. In fact, stop using chests entirely. They're old and dumb and stupid. Well, alright, they look okay. But barrels carry the same amount, cost less to make, and can actually be opened even when another block is on top of it. And if rare red isn't your favorite color, harming potions are super useful for taking out those dreaded mobs or enemies. But when it comes to zombies, these potions actually heal them. I suppose they're dead anyway. So if you want to kill a zombie, throw a healing potion at them to damage them instead. Nice attention to detail, Mojang. Turns out locking is easier than you think, as you can add a glass pane to a map to lock it, meaning it won't update if anything changes. This can be great for documenting the progress of your base over time, or creating a permanent design of an upside-down T. If you bring bottles with you to the end fight, you can actually pick up the purple particles the dragon shoots at you. These are called potions of dragon's breath, and can be used to craft tipped arrows or lingering potions. I just wish you'd brushed first. But as it turns out, Mojang might want to brush past some older Minecraft snapshots too. As in an old snapshot, you could actually grow furnaces? By using a command to spawn a pumpkin with an impossible growth phase, a furnace would grow out of the ground underneath it. Shulkers can be super annoying when they hit you with their levitation balls. Trust me, I know. But these balls can actually hit other mobs as well, causing them to fly high into the sky. Who knew their balls were so powerful? Not me. Definitely not me. Fences work great to hold in animals, so this genius hack uses trapdoors to trap creatures without you having to work at all. Mobs don't realize that you can hop over a trapdoor on both sides, and so once they've hopped over one side, they can't go back, getting stuck in your perfect little pen. Upside down buildings and trees are great fun, but this lets you have animals there too. Use a dinner bone name tag trick on an animal, and leash them to a post 5 blocks above the upside down door, and they'll stand on that floor just like the other decoration. This genius hack means this water will not spill out of its little space. It looks like nothing's stopping it, but it's actually the glow lichen on the sides here that completely stops the water flowing out. It blends into a room so much better than a sign does too. Make a near invisible elevator using humble leather boots. Basically, if you have a white room, you can put powdered snow instead of a wall and use leather boots to climb up it, making your new elevator near invisible. Carpets can hide a lot of things. Hide a redstone block underneath the carpet and it will still activate when you step on it, which can then open up all sorts of contraptions without making noise like a pressure plate would. Get efficient! Pros love efficiency, and if your pick doesn't have mending or unbreaking, then they'll love it too. Have a central hub with your chest where you start mining from. Then mine out in branches, 3 blocks apart from each other. Most ore veins are big enough that those branches will expose them as you mine. You might have heard that one before, but pros know about new tech that recently got added to the game. Use a trapdoor to force yourself to crawl into a 1-block space. Now you only need to mine that 1-block space in front of you, crawling forward as you go. It's way easier and faster. Climb mountains with speed by using water buckets to scale cliffs. You can pour water many blocks above your head and climb up that rather than digging and jumping your way up there. You can use water buckets to break your fall, but if you're in the nether and water isn't available, use powdered snow instead. In fact, if you lay powdered snow beforehand and lay a carpet over it, you can drop from any distance and you'll be completely safe. All the pros know that if you need dry sponge in a hurry, just hop into the nether and place it down. It dries instantly, way faster than using a furnace. Mojang missed out on one of the best jokes of the century by not making suspicious sand sus. Additionally, since this pack gives sus blocks such a unique texture, it's impossible to miss them, unless there's an imposter. If you haven't used Zali's potions yet, you're missing out on one of the greatest textures of all time. This gives every kind of potion its own unique texture, and also works for both lingering and splash potions. Mojang, you need to take notes. You might have heard of Faithful, but have you ever used Kingdoms? This is one of the craziest texture packs to ever exist, as it completely overhauls the game to a medieval fantasy version of Minecraft. From the UI to the animals to even the nether, the creators of this pack have missed nothing. Hell, take a look at the Striders and I guarantee you won't be sleeping for a few days. This is a must try. Don't be so hasty with enchantments. Some have hidden properties like quick charge. At level 6 and above, crossbows with this enchantment stops the reload animation at the first frame, which is before the crossbow is loaded and so won't load at all. Here's a trick that will freak your friends out. Carpet can actually be placed on any non-air block, even lava. It's tricky and dangerous, but you can walk on lava like it's nothing. It's easiest with moss carpet as that doesn't burn. We're all pretty aware of Minecraft's food chain now. Creepers hate ocelots, foxes hate chickens and rabbits, Mallow hates dogs, but one toxic relationship you probably don't know about is that polar bears hate foxes. It doesn't usually go too well for the polar bears though, as foxes are way faster. And because foxes can step on powder snow just fine, the bears are sometimes baited in and get stuck. On the topic of foxes though, I have to know, am I stupid for not knowing this next one? Foxes don't just attack attack rabbits and chickens by walking up and biting them. They also sneak up and pounce on them by jumping super high into the air. What's crazier is that if they land on snow, they'll actually get stuck and shake around trying to free themselves. I swear these guys have been in the game for ages, and I've never seen this. I must be an idiot, right? Slime blocks, honey blocks, and hay bales can all be used to reduce full damage when using a drop shoot, but they all have drawbacks. Instead, put a waterlogged chest at the bottom. You won't take any fall damage, you don't bounce, and it doesn't slow you down. But what if I told you this myth says cats are even more powerful? Sure, they only have literally 2% of the warden's health, but they have a special secret. No matter how far you drop them from, they won't take any damage. Apparently, this is because in real life, cats can literally fall from 200 feet up and survive. It's so much better than a dog. Hey! I didn't kill it. I'm still keeping my promise. What about us? For some reason, landing in just an inch of water is enough to completely survive any fall. So I mean, a watermelon is mostly water. Surely that can save me, right? Yeah, no. But berry bushes can. Right. 1.20 finally added armor customization with armor trims. But did they add the ability for our horses to get dripped with us? Alright, it doesn't work with diamond. What about leather? Oh, I guess not. Looks like it does work for turtle shells though, for extra swag for us. Sorry, horsey. Oh, and by the way, if you have a looting 255 sword and kill a screaming goat, you'll actually get a secret goat horn that plays a super special sound. Baby foxes can't swim, or at least they can for a little bit. But the fact is, they're so small that they can't keep their head above water to breathe. Did you know you can create your own skulk biome with a secret technique? The skulk block reacts and spreads when mobs die nearby. So you could make a mob spawner lead onto a skulk catalyst. With every death, the skulk biome will spread with no limit! One fun fact is that you used to be able to feed parrots cookies to tame them. This got changed, and now the cookies will kill the parrot. The reason for this deadly change is that feeding cookies to a parrot in real life is very dangerous, and they didn't want people killing off their real pet birds by accident. It's a fact that golems are the village's loyal protector, but it's actually possible to witness a golem go on a rampage. Villagers celebrate by launching fireworks, but if they're not safe and a golem gets hit by a firework, it will see the villagers as enemies and wipe them all out. Did you know that if you enchant a trident with loyalty, it will follow you around until it gets into your inventory? Well, what happens when your inventory is full? It actually follows you around like a pet bird. This super high IQ hack lets you farm mobs in the nether. Most mob farms use water to funnel the mobs into a drop that kills them, but you can't do that in the nether. So instead, use gas in Minecraft. Their big hitbox pushes other mobs to the edges, where you can put a drop down to their doom. It can be great to make a village of your own, complete with villagers, but you need this hack to protect them from invaders. Fill a dispenser with armor, and use it to launch the set into a villager. The village will actually use the armor, a perfect defense for your peaceful town. Campfires can look great in your home, but not if it smokes up the place. This hack removes the smoke completely. Just put 2 layers of string on top, and the smoke stops. Filling a swimming pool with buckets of water can take way too long. So try this speedy hack instead. Stack ice blocks along 2 edges with a gap between, and then break them down at speed with a pickaxe. The water will spill out in such a way that the whole pool gets filled like magic. Minecarts can fit almost any mob, including sniffers, ravagers, and even guests. That's a hell of a visitor when you send it down the rails to your friend's home base. Ever feel like a zombie horde is never ending? That's because it might be. Anytime you hit a zombie, it will look around and try 50 times to spawn a new zombie. It only has up to a 10% chance to succeed though, unless it's a leader! Then it goes up to a 75% chance of spawning the horde. Be careful where you put your beehives. If it's too close to the ocean, any bee that strays over the water can very quickly get disoriented and will eventually fall in and drown. People have lost entire bee colonies this way, so stay safe. There's a crazy looting glitch that lets you get the extra rewards of the looting enchantment even when the tool you're using isn't enchanted. If you have a sword with looting in your main hand, a regular bow in the other, enemies killed with the bow will give extra items. Everyone knows cats always land on their feet, but did you know that in Minecraft they also take no damage from a fall? This is based on cats' real-world ability to survive crazy falls. Some have even fallen out of a plane without a parachute and lived to tell the tale. Go beyond the end of the world with this command. It's a secret teleport destination that will put you on the other side of the world border. But be careful, because the moment you pass that border, you'll be taking real damage. Use this flying hack to make your minecart soar. The secret is to spawn a bee with a minecart riding on top of it. The minecart is still rideable, so if you turn the bee invisible, it'll look like you're flying by magic. Did you know you can walk on water upside down and backwards using this hidden trick? Grab an elytra, then dive into the water and hold the space bar to lift to the surface and hold back. You'll moonwalk underwater. I'm wearing a full set of armor right now, but it's fully invisible. Prank your friends by putting in this command, which makes your armor completely see-through. This fire will never go out on its own. If you have have a picture frame with an item in it, you can shoot the item with a flame bow. It creates a flame in the item's place, meaning it'll stay there as a decoration forever. All the paintings in the game are pixel versions of real paintings, and some of them hide amazing details. I can never unsee this painting now without looking at the 6 brown pixels at the bottom. In the original version of the painting, they're actually a cute, fluffy little animal. Here's a little detail that's easy to miss. Want to create a lot of smoke? Campfires can make some, but it disappears before it can even get past the treetops. But if you put the campfire on top of a haystack, that smoke will rise 3 times higher. Skeletons have been in the game for well over a decade, but I bet you didn't notice how they've been holding their bow. It turns out that skeletons have an 11% chance of being left-handed and holding their bow in that left hand. This only applies to Java Edition though, as mobs in the Bedrock Edition cannot be left-handed. Mojang love putting subtle details into their game, and the fisherman actually has a reference to Minecraft history. The texture on the fisherman is a fish on it, but it's not just any fish. It's the texture for raw fish that was removed from the game years ago. People use torches and levers all over the place, but I bet you never notice that they're actually the same thing. They use the same texture and are the same shape. It's just the tip that's colored differently. I definitely can't unsee that. Here's something you probably have missed your entire time playing. Sea lanterns are actually animated. If you look closely, the center of the lantern actually swells with light spreading outwards. It's so subtle that some colorblind people can't see it at all. In snowy areas, some bases will have secret entrances covered with powdered snow. Wait until night, and if you see some snow on a mountain that's slightly brighter than the rest, that's light coming through from the inside. Get an elytra and fly straight into that snow. You'll pass right through into the base. If your friend is a locked door, make your own redstone mechanism to open it. Nothing is stopping you from bypassing whatever complex system they made inside the walls by just placing down and activating a redstone block against the door. If your friend's base has its own private nether portal, then use that as a way in. Find the coordinates to the connected portal in the nether by taking the overworld coordinates of the base and dividing the X and the Z by 8. That's where the portal in the nether will be, giving you a back door into the protected fortress. If the building you're breaking into is full of death traps, just stock up on totems of undying. It's way easier than trying to avoid everything. Just take the hit and keep on moving. Players will often have secret tunnels that lead far away to their stash. If you X-ray by crawling and pressing a slab into your face with a piston, you can seek out small separate rooms filled with blocks. Dig toward those because they're less likely to be well defended, and will have a corridor straight into the base. Convince people to press F3 and C. Everyone knows some F3 inputs, like the debug screen, but holding down F3 and C crashes their game completely. Do it to the right person, and they'll get so mad, they'll beg for you to be banned. Hacks are a classic way to get banned in any game. There's a whole bunch of aimbots even for the newest updates of Minecraft. So take your pick and dominate PvP until the inevitable ban hammer comes crashing down. Start a raid in the server's favorite village. If you kill a pillager captain, you'll get a bad omen, which will spawn a raid when you get to the village. Get as many bad omens as you can for an extra deadly raid that will wipe out the server's poor innocent villagers. If the server has a huge rail system, find an obscure section in the middle and direct it off into a death trap. It's almost impossible to see when you're going so fast, so they'll be dead before they know it, and we'll have to check tons of railing to find the one block you changed. Did you know that you can get rid of effects without using milk? First introduced in the Caves and Cliffs update, axolotls are adorable little creatures who seemingly serve no purpose. However, did you know that these creatures can actually get rid of negative effects? If you bring an axolotl to an underwater temple, they will attack the nearby guardians. If you help it to defeat one of these pesky mobs, the axolotl will give you regeneration and get rid of any negative effect you have. Speaking of mobs, you can get rid of any mob spawning without using any kind of light source. If you place carpets on your floor or slabs, then mobs won't be able to spawn on top of them, meaning you don't need to cover your floor in torches. Did you know torches in Minecraft emit a light level of 14, but light levels in Minecraft can go up to 15, going from 0 to 15, where 0 is a block that does not emit light. However, the best light blocks are sunlight, beacons, jack-o'-lanterns, fire, glowstone, lanterns, and M-portal frames for some reason. Minecraft doesn't want you to know this, as they are clearly trying to ruin your build. Let's take torturable health bars a step further by using Strizen's health bars. Although having each mob display their health feels like it's cheating, it's an awesome addition for newer players and could even potentially save you from unaliving a villager or two. Let's use X-ray! Wait, hear me out. There are tons of illegitimate ways to get X-ray in the game, but using X-ray Ultimate is completely okay if you intend to use it in a single-player world. This can be super useful if you're looking for something like ancient debris or emeralds, but are the world's unluckiest player. But this is only for noobs. I haven't used it at all. What else was I supposed to do? Maybe the wrong banner patterns has driven me insane. I wish I'd known about banner pattern clarity much earlier. This allows you to see small symbols on banners, or you put them in a loom to ensure that you don't end up wasting resources. I've missed diamonds hundreds of times at this point, all because this game is way too dark. However, Mining Helper is one of the most OP textures to exist, since it gives every ore a glow-in-the-dark effect. I'm never missing an ore after this. No matter how high they fall from, cats will never take full damage. You can send them all the way from build limit to bedrock and they'll walk away like nothing happened. Conversely, dogs do take damage. And anvil damage! It's just so beautiful. Zombified piglins are terrifying to fight in the nether, but if you manage to get a weapon powerful enough to kill them in one hit, they won't get mad, and you can take them out one by one. Flower forests are one of the prettiest biomes in the game, and one of the easiest places to farm all the different dyes too. But strangely, the flowers don't actually generate in random places. Each area in this biome can only spawn a specific flower, which means you can map it out using bone meal to create a really cool effect. Bees in Minecraft actually work really similar to how they do in real life. When they sting you, they don't just lose their stinger and end up dying shortly after. They actually leave it inside you. It's easiest to see when you turn invisible and when are they adding tweezers to the game? Did you know you can jump up more than one block in Minecraft? This is called a blip up. Basically, you trick the game into thinking you are on a higher block than you actually are. This then lets you jump up multiple blocks. However, it requires a fair bit of setup, so probably is not that useful. People will often MLG into a bed. It is certainly one of the biggest flexes you can do with your friends. But how about swimming into bed? Well, if you position yourself just right as you approach the bed, then you will actually have the swimming animation while you lie in bed. Is this some kind of waterbed? Representation is huge in Minecraft. However, this next mistake I do not think was entirely intentional. If you load up Minecraft in snapshot 20W45A, you would see some cats that really showed some representation that they only had 3 legs. Not sure how they would be able to balance like this. I could barely stand on 2 legs. Ah! There is nothing more embarrassing than dying from full damage, but did you know you can actually do an MLG clutch without any block or item? No water, no cobwebs, no beds or anything. All you have to do is crash into a block as you fall at just the right angle, and you will bounce up on the block. Certainly one of the best MLGs to make your friends believe you are hacking. I'm embarrassed to tell you the sheer amount of time I've spent looking for buried treasure with maps. That was until I found out about this trick. Once you're in the chunk the treasure is located in, press F3 plus G, and look at these numbers, which are the sub-chunk coordinates. Make sure that the first and last digits are 9 and 9. After that, dig straight down, and you've got yourself the easiest loot of your life. Similarly, you can do the same thing with strongholds, which have tons of loot, but it's slightly more complicated. Use an Eye of Ender several times to see which chunk the location of the stronghold crosses in. This will indicate the general chunk it is located in. After that, you have to open the same menu and look at the sub-chunk coordinates. Only this time, the first and last digits need to be 4. Doing this helps you find strongholds almost instantly, which have a boatload of loot. The only downside is using the Eyes of Ender can get a bit expensive. Gardens in Minecraft are kind of boring. You could have an amazing house but have a bad garden and it brings down the entire aesthetic of the house. So how can you have brilliant lighting in your garden without placing torches everywhere? Instead, use Glow Lightgen, a perfect block for lighting up your pathways whenever you do not want to line your pathways in torches or lanterns. And it's hidden from your sights unless you really look for it. Creating a lawn in Minecraft is normally done by just using grass blocks. However, if you want to bring some texture and color to your lawn, use this technique. By using moss blocks and grass blocks, you will create this golf course looking grass aesthetic. It certainly makes my lawn look a lot cleaner. Doors are the stupidest thing to exist in Minecraft. I mean, why even have them when you can straight up glitch through walls? Just run into a corner with a boat or dispense yourself through the wall. Wait, how do I get back in? If there's one thing that's important to Minecraft, it's your time. And who has the time to waste taming these stupid horses? Instead of taming them with normal food, you should use golden apples. With only 10 golden apples, your horsey is gonna go from fiend to friend. 8 gold blocks for one horse? Definitely worth it. The way most players use potions is completely wrong, since they throw it at their feet. Doing this usually decreases the duration of the potion by a minute or 2, whereas throwing it into the sky onto your head will give you the full amount. But Mallow, why does this happen? Do I look like a coder to you? Being stuck in a cave without any torches is one of the worst places a player can find themselves in. But this rejected miner's helmet would have brought an end to that. This helmet was intended to have a torch on top of it that would light the way as you explored the caves. But why was this rejected? Well, probably because it would require dynamic lighting, similar to how Optifine does lighting and torches. But who knows? Maybe one day we will see this helmet again. Minecraft skins are kind of pointless. You can't see your own skin in first person, leading to most single players just never setting a skin. Obviously, you have access to F5, but what would Minecraft have looked like if our next rejected idea got into the game? Mirrors. Imagine the builds people would have made using mirror mazes, huge reflective art, and so much more. This one is a real shame. I just want to stare at myself all day. I hate having to take my bed everywhere in Minecraft. I could be planning a huge adventure to find a hidden treasure, and I'd have to pack all the essentials. My tools, some food, and an entire queen king-size bed? It just feels wrong, and I now see why. There was a rejected Minecraft idea that was always intended to take over for beds in this style: the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag would have been more like a portable bed, but then Mojang realized there was not much point in adding this to the game when people could just make another bed. Being in the ground at night is so much safer than being above ground. There are less places for enemies to spawn, and more places for you to hide. However, imagine a world where this was perhaps not the case. If this rejected idea had gotten into the game, caves could have been far more terrifying. Ghost miners are intended to be added into Minecraft to be an exclusively underground enemy for you to fight, able to slide through walls while slowly approaching you. I do not like ghosts. Everyone knows about Bedrock being called Bug Rock, and this is because Bedrock is a very buggy version of Minecraft. However, some of these bugs are technically features of Bedrock Edition, such as the fox having double the amount of health in Bedrock. This is most likely one of the many bugs plaguing Bedrock Edition. However, it could well be a feature. If you thought phantoms were annoying in Java Edition, just wait for this next feature exclusive to Bedrock Edition. In both versions of Minecraft, the phantoms do different amounts of damage. In Bedrock, the phantom will do 2 hearts of damage on easy, 3 hearts on normal, and 4.5 hearts on hard mode. Now compare this to the Java Edition, where they do 1.5 hearts on hard mode, and you will realize that the Bedrock Edition makes these annoying flying bugs even more irritating. Maybe I should sleep before I leave. I'm terrified of these things. I love building automatic farms in Minecraft. However, one crop you cannot easily farm in Java Edition is sugarcane. There is no way you can grow sugarcane manually. However, Bedrock Edition gave players the ability to bone meal sugarcane, meaning you can easily farm a lot of sugar. This has made farming sugarcane so much easier. Have you ever found a horse that you love and are desperate to kit it out with some armor, but you look everywhere for it and cannot find any? Well, in Bedrock Edition, you can actually craft leather horse armor. Again, another immensely useful feature that really should be in both versions. Ah, horsey! Bedrock has some major issues with world generation, and one of these is the stripe land. This immensely buggy, almost void-like glitch can only be found when you travel over 16 million blocks away, which is very far when you're playing on Bedrock. Just gotta keep going. If you're still using oak, acacia, or wood, you're a massive noob. Use bamboo instead. This is because bamboo is wood, but on steroids. How, you may ask? Well, bamboo grows super fast, and the best part, you can farm these almost instantly with just a stone sword. Mahaha! All the bamboo is mine. Wait, maybe I should just buy wood from a villager instead. There are quite literally thousands of duplication glitches in Minecraft, but one of these is beyond overpowered. All you have to do is place fences below an end portal and drop a gravity block from 3 blocks above the portal. Unfortunately though, Mojang hates us having fun since this only existed in Java 1.19. Wait, what if I do this with... Ah! Don't panic! Really, don't panic when a creeper is coming, or TNT is ready to explode. Just put some blocks down in front of you and you'll take way less damage. It's so much fun finding buried treasure, but where is it? I'm at the X. Everyone makes a mistake of just guessing the X exactly is pointing, but you might be off by a few blocks. So to be absolutely sure, look at the coordinates in the chunk selection. The treasure will always spawn at 9,9 for that chunk. It should be straight down. The nether is where mistakes can be deadly. It's very easy to catch fire, and water disappears instantly. Or does it? The big mistake people make is not bringing a cauldron and buckets of water. Even in the nether, water in a cauldron will not disappear. So when you catch fire, put yourself out with this cool trick. Everyone knows that if you name a sheep Jeb, it will turn rainbow. But most people don't know is that you can actually name a rabbit Toast to unlock Toast! Okay, not really, but it does have a secret texture. It's a reference to a developer's old pet. And although it's not exactly rainbow, at least this guy has meaning. It's common knowledge that dispensers can't place blocks. But did you know that dispensers are actually able to place blocks if it means they can summon a golem or the wither? Dispensing a carved pumpkin on top of 2 snow blocks will create a snow golem, just as if you place the block there. A pretty cool way to win a bet and scam your friends out of their hand-earned diamond. Or just do it for fun. But come on, who does that? Most players beat the Ender Dragon by taking out all the crystals and then hitting it with a sword. But excuse you? I watched Dream back in the day, and not only have I seen his face before he put the mask back on, but even I know that you can skip this process entirely by waiting for the dragon to perch and then using beds to blow it up. Take that, American military! Cactuses are able to destroy items when thrown at them, but they are the only block that can do this. Dropping an anvil on some items from 4 blocks or higher will instantly destroy those items. Pretty cool. The invisibility potion is great for hiding from your friends, also sneak past mobs, but for some reason, villagers will still look at you, even if you're completely invisible. The same thing happens with enchanting tables, so if you're trying to spy on your friends, make sure a villager don't snitch on you. Shoot enemies from the safety of a bunker by using dirt paths. They're actually 1 pixel shorter than regular blocks, so if you stand behind one and have a block above your head, you can see a slight gap between them, and can even shoot arrows through the gap. This other super hack can turn your regular vine vines into fruit-bearing plant life. Just put redstone ore behind the vines, and the color will shine through, giving a good breakup to all the green and brown. Put some berry bushes to fill out the space even more. This cool design hack lets you create a seamless transition between dirt and stone. Just use glow light on coarse dirt, and it looks remarkably like stone that's emerging from dirt. It's a great middle point between the two. This genius hack shows that string can be great for a lot of things, including keeping your plants at the height that you want. Put the string above your bamboo or sugarcane, and you can keep that thing small forever. There are plants where you don't need string at all, and it's thanks to an item from last year. Now, certain vines can be snipped with shears, so they stop growing entirely. A secret trick you can use to make an atmospheric room is to let it be dark and only light up using redstone ore. They can act as a light, but only when activated, which includes stepping on them. It can light up a dark pathway in style. Strongholds almost always have a massive library, so don't bother going through the trouble of making them yourself. If you want an enchanting table, just find a stronghold, and you can set up right there. Need water, but all you have is a wet sponge? Get the water from the sponge by heating it in the furnace. Then replace the fuel with a bucket, so when the sponge is dry, the bucket is filled with water. Get a pumpkin or melon farm and use that to get emeralds like a pro. The villagers love that stuff and will give you an emerald for pretty cheap. You can then use those emeralds to buy all sorts of things in return. It's so easy to get lost in the caves and tunnels, and making signs and landmarks every few steps can be tiresome. Just place torches on the right side as you walk. Then when you want to go back, keep the torches on the left side and you'll go straight back the way you came. Press F3 to know there's a bastion nearby like a pro. A debug screen shows how many entities are on screen, but this includes entities that are hidden behind walls. If you make your FOV real small and look around in the nether, a high number of entities clustered together will probably be a bastion. Only the richest players can test this myth out. Apparently, nether stars are disappoint when you explode them. It feels so wrong to do this, but let's try it. Hey, it actually works! You can even do it with stacks of them without losing any. I bet you can even put them in item frames and... oh no. This works because it would really suck if you killed a wither and the star got blown up by the final skull. But what if you were fighting it near lava? Would you still be safe? Nope. Easiest bust yet. Apparently, armor doesn't actually protect you from potions of harming. Okay, so I take 6 hearts without any armor. Let's try with full diamonds. Yeah, look, 6 hearts as well. Okay, what about with full protection? 4. Now it's just 2 hearts. I guess I may as well just use leather armor now. Myth confirmed. This cool trick lets you explode TNT underwater. If you put a sand block on top and then ignite the TNT, the block will fall into it, making sure the water doesn't stop the explosion. Use this crazy secret to spook your friends. There is no limit to the amount of bats that can hang from one block. For other animals, the game stops this from happening, but you can pack the bats in as much as you want. Stick them in the walls and watch your friends unleash them all by accident. Creatures from the nether hate the water, except for the magma cubes. They can swim just fine in it without getting hurt. Worried about invisible players? Well, this little fact might save you, because enchanting tables will react to you even if you're invisible. Llamas are amazing, and even more so when they hit the water. Unlike pigs or horses, llama actually float on top of the water like a boat when you ride them. Dripstone can drop and do real damage, so why not use this hack to make a fun defense for your castle? Bounce the dripstone off these slime blocks and pistons, and the stone will be launched out toward any incoming players storming your fort. Powdered snow is technically a full block, but you can actually pass through it with this weird hack. It turns out you can fly through it with elytra, passing through to the other side without losing any speed. So why not use it as a secret wall or entrance? Ice and water travel systems for your items can end up with traffic jams, especially the corners, so use this build hack to make your system perfecto. Put 2 sea pickles at the corner and they will guide the items around the corners, sticking to the edge of the tunnel, straight to their destination. Get your minecarts going fast with this high-speed hack with much less redstone. Minecarts take turns fast, so if you lay your rails out into these circles, the minecarts will turn constantly, gaining super fast and still in a straight line. Just close your eyes while it's happening. This quick and easy hack lets you build an iron farm really fast and really early in the game. All you need is an iron golem spawning platform that's very small and a campfire at the top, leaving no room for the golem to walk away from it, taking damage and dropping all of its precious iron. This milk is special. It was milked from a squid. That's because back in beta 1.2, squid could be milked just like cows. It was later taken out of the game, but modders all over the world have been desperately trying to put it back into the game. This mound of snow holds a secret. It's actually an igloo, and exactly 50% of the time there's a secret trapdoor underneath, leading to a golden apple, a zombie villager, and a regular villager. If you cure the zombie villager, you've got yourself the makings of a brand new village. Invisibility is amazing, but it's not perfect. Wearing armor makes you more visible, but even without nothing on at all, bats and cats can see you clear as day. So if you see some bats freaking out about nothing, it might be another player sneaking up on you. It's super gross, but this baby panda can make a slime ball. All you have to do is wait for it to sneeze, and the gooey snot has a chance of coming out as a full slime ball ready to be used. Get high-grade weaponry for your very own gunboat by trapping a Guardian in it. You can exploit this because a Guardian will attack anyone unless they're in the boat. You can drive it towards your friends and watch them run in fear! Taunt a Ravager with this secret exploit by building a 4-block tower. Force yourself to lay down using a trapdoor above you, and now you're close enough to hit the beast while it flails uselessly at you. Trap a gas and you can use this super illegal fireball technique. If you stand at the spot where the gas attack will start, it actually doesn't hit you, and you can then punch it wherever you want. Troll your friends by raining fire down upon them. Use this secret arrow trick to fly long distances without an elytra or even a slow fall potion. All you need is a bow and arrow with the punch to enchantment. Shoot the lightest shot you can while running or jumping, and the arrow will hit you, launching you forward. This wall is watching you, or at least it looks that way. You can put a dispenser behind the mangrove trapdoor, and a sense of depth creates this optical illusion that the wall is watching you wherever you go. Baby piglins will never become adults, so trap a few and you've got yourself a permanent team of gold-stealing miscreants. Make sure they don't steal your gold too. Did you know that lily pads in this game will lock in a direction to face? You can't choose where it's facing. It's actually disabled by the coordinates you place them. It would be so useful if you could choose, but life just isn't so easy. The flowers are hiding a secret. They actually grow in a specific pattern. That's because they're generated using Perlin noise, which is the same noise used in 3D to generate the whole Minecraft world. This detail is so subtle, you'll think you're going crazy when you notice it. It turns out that Prismarine has an animated texture, but you might not notice it at all. That's because it's an incredible subtle change in color that takes a full minute to animate fully. Everyone knows how to deflect a gas fireball with a sword, but you can deflect with almost anything. Arrows, fishing lines, even snowballs can knock the fireball away. In fact, nearly all projectiles can deflect the fireball, except for the ender pearl. And I mean, you shouldn't be throwing those around carelessly anyway. A server owner can use creative to build a house out of bedrock. Break through with the latest bedrock cracking machine. Using a piston, a trapdoor, some TNT, obsidian, and a lever, you can glitch the game to destroying the bedrock and letting you in. They say the safest base is a hidden one. So, how do you break in if you can't even find it? Look for the FPS drop. If you turn on the FPS counter using the settings on your PC or FN plus F3 on a Mac, you can see how fast your game is running. If you're out in the wilderness, the FPS should be high. But if there's a bunch of entities nearby, like chests, players, or armor stands, the FPS will take a slight dip. That means the base is nearby. Start digging! This insane block placement glitch lets you climb invisible ghost blocks. If you swap a block into your offhand and place it at the same time, it will exist in the world but be invisible. You can climb walls without a trace. But even better, if you use slime blocks, it will launch you into the air, letting you scale tall towers at high speed. Play on the side of the hostile mobs. You can throw armor at mobs and they'll wear it. Steal armor from the other players and keep giving it to the enemies to make them an unstoppable force. It is illegal to sell or buy accounts to other players, so why not tell everyone you're doing just that as much as possible until someone runs off to tell Mojang what an evil person you are. Duping items is an incredibly difficult thing to do on a server because all the item information is kept on a server's computer, but some places have exploitable weaknesses. A server that has its own spawn and teleport system can be tricked into dropping your items at the same time that you spawn, so the items are dropped, but also kept on your hotbar at the same time. It's an immediate bannable offense. Put traps in XP farms. Nearly every server has one, so why not put a sensor beside it? So when someone comes for some valuable XP, the whole thing breaks open, and they're overwhelmed and violent mobs hell-bent on revenge. Most servers ban you for making holes to the void, where people fall in and die. But what's worse is making someone fall to the void and catch them on a boat hanging in the void. They'll struggle to get back up, but they won't want to die and lose their items either. Make a wither in the server owner's house. Those withers can absolutely destroy almost any block in the game. So unsurprisingly, it's one of the fastest ways to wreak havoc and destroy all the hard work that the server owner has put in their beautiful home. It's common sense to chop down a whole tree rather than leaving it unfinished. But who needs common sense? Why not just keep chopping trees and leaving them all with just one block left? The world will be filled with these floating packs of leaves that will stay there forever! Armor has not changed much since Minecraft's release, besides the addition of netherite and armor trims, but I bet you don't know that there was an entire set of armor that was deleted from the game. Originally, in between leather armor and chainmail armor, we had the studded armor. This was kind of like clay mixed with chainmail that had less durability than chainmail, and to this day, we still don't know why it was removed. Observers nowadays have hilarious little faces to show which side is looking at blocks, but it was not always this way. Observers used to have two sides which were both sensors, but everyone found it too confusing, including Mojang developer Jeb, who chose to just add a face. Another error that Mojang made has been in the game now for nearly 10 years. Prior to this year's 1.20 update, Minecraft had a bug that was left in the game. When you take damage, your character will flinch to the left. But this is not how the damage wobble is meant to work. You are actually meant to flinch in the opposite direction direction of where the damage came from, and this glitch had been in the game for over 10 years. Diamonds are not the rarest ore in Minecraft. The rarest ore in Minecraft is, of course, deep slate coal. Well, deep slate coal is very hard to find, as coal tends to spawn at much higher levels than deep slate. I never thought coal would be a rare resource. If you're a psycho and actually play Bedrock, this chunk visualizer is the only thing that can keep you sane. Not only that, it even displays the coordinates without having to bring up this ugly menu that takes up half the screen.
But Mallow, can't we just use the F3 shortcut?
Stop! Bedrock players aren't allowed an opinion! Imagine if Minecraft had a setting where you can make all the utility tweaks you ever needed. Better textures, a real-time clock, a coordinate HUD, everything! That's why Vanilla Tweaks is the most overpowered mod to exist in the game. This is the ultimate all-in-one pack that allows you to modify any texture and download utility within seconds. Most importantly, you can rehaul the way your entire game looks with tons of block textures. Look at my massive crop field! Can you even tell which of these are ready to be harvested? Yeah, not even Herobrine would be able to do that. Fortunately though, Easy Farm can be outlining fully grown crops in white. This is especially useful for nether warts because they all look the same, for God's sake! Mobs in Minecraft just seem to plop over as they die, and this is awfully boring. Something like torturable health bars is far better. The Warden loses an ear. The Enderman starts looking like he went through war, and jaws for skeletons fall off. Fleshier mobs like the zombie and husk lose parts of their head. Wait, this game just became PG-18? Speaking of beds, did you know that there used to be a sky dimension planned for Minecraft? It was supposed to be a magical realm in the sky that you could access through dreams. Each time you went to sleep, there would be a chance you'd wake up here instead. Unfortunately, this idea was eventually replaced by the end, but I'd love to see them bring back this idea. While you were busy having sniper duels or hiding away praying they wouldn't see you, skeletons have been hiding a dark secret. Okay, it's not that dark, but around 11% of them are actually left-handed and hold their bows differently to the rest. Apparently, this is to mirror the amount of real people who are left-handed. Also, even though wither skeletons can't spawn naturally with a bow, they still have a line of code that lets them shoot fire arrows when they're given one with commands. Weird, right? Have you ever noticed that the sky actually changes color during the wither fight? That's right, as soon as the fight begins, the horizon turns a deep, ashy gray, and some clouds become much darker. Too bad nobody will ever see this because we all fight the wither underground now. Like mole people. Personally, I think dogs in Minecraft need more customization. Yes, I know they are adding the wolf armor in the next update, but I want to dream bigger. In the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, there was a hilarious glitch that would actually let you die the entire dog. Ugh, why did they need to have more dogs? Oh no! I'm gonna die in this lava! Well, actually, no. As I have an expert way to get out of this certain death situation. If you are burning in lava, quit the game and then relog. When you log back in, you will actually have 3 seconds of complete invincibility. But be warned, it won't get rid of the burning, so you may still burn to a crisp once you get out. Villages are a staple part of Minecraft, needed for everything from exploiting the trade market to summoning their iron protectors just for them to burn in your iron farm. However, when villagers were first added, they were only meant to spawn in the plains biome. But one mistake within Minecraft's code had them spawning in the ocean and having really nice wooden paths. Mojang realized the mistake and panicked, thinking of how to deal with it. So they decided to make it a feature instead. Yeah, it's now a feature, not a mistake. There is a secret item in Minecraft that Mojang really does not want you to know about. Certain blocks in Minecraft are unattainable without the use of commands. The command blocks, barriers, and this elusive item, the debug stick. This was actually introduced as Mojang kept adding blocks to the game that were becoming buggier and buggier. Hitting a block with this stick will actually change the state of a block. And the funniest part, this mistake is meant to fix other mistakes! No! This guy's gonna steal my diamonds! Quick, quick! Wait, what's in this chest? Oh, it's scaffolding! I can use this! I just have to place scaffolding like this, and then spam clicking, and then I can get away! Yes! This mistake is something that Minecraft seriously needs to remove, as it can be very overpowered in these manhunt situations, but it is very fun to do. Secondly, only massive noobs search for ancient cities manually. Just head on over to Chunkbase and plug in your world seed to find all the ancient cities next to you.
But Mallow, isn't this cheating?
Hey! We want to get rich, alright? Who cares about ethics? You might not believe me, but it's possible to x-ray through the entire ocean without downloading any external help. All you need is a potion of night vision. Chug this down and immediately go into your settings to turn your brightness to 50. This allows you to see for miles without the danger of Mojang unaliving you in seconds. Finding ocean monuments, geodes, strongholds, and ultimately insane amounts of treasure has never been easier. Alerting skulk sensors is one of the most horrifying experiences in the game, and there's a huge probability that you'll die and lose all your goodies. But this is easily fixed by setting up an infinite sound machine. Just place down a skulk sensor, redstone repeater, and trapdoor. Not only does this prevent the warden from chasing you, but it'll give you enough time to sweep through the entire ancient city. Why the hell does this work so well? A campfire smoke is kinda pathetic. It only lasts for about 10 blocks before fading away. However, if you place a hay bale beneath it, it'll use that extra fuel to create a 25-block high smoke stream. It's obviously super cute that foxes can pick up and steal your items, but did you know they can actually use them too? If you try killing a fox while it's holding a totem, it won't die and just runs away from you like the monster you are. Luckily, this feature doesn't work on dogs. Foxes can also eat chorus fruit if given the opportunity, and presumably get really confused after. You can go upstairs much faster if you've got auto jump enabled. Finally, maybe a reason to use this. Every Minecraft player's worst nightmare is having a creeper sneak in or spawn in their base and having it blow up everything. But to make this a little less disastrous, you can waterlog your chests to make them blast resistant. Time to hit the town for a shopping spree. Let's see, a fletching villager. Well, that makes sense. A librarian selling books. That also makes sense. A cleric selling an engineering component. Wait, what? Surely there must have been a redstone villager? Well, actually, it turns out, yes, there was meant to be a redstone villager. A villager who would only sell and accept redstone components and torches. The problem was the rest of his trades. It was very difficult to find a balanced way to get emeralds and trade them back to him without being insanely expensive or way too easy to obtain. Decorating in Minecraft is really difficult and frustrating. Imagine a world where your furniture could look like actual furniture. Now this is better. This was actually Mojang's original plan. However, at the time, it was a lot more difficult to implement this, and Mojang had so many bugs to fix across their versions, so they just abandoned the idea, leaving it to amazing modders to make this. Time to kick back and watch some Mallow YouTube videos, where you should subscribe. When you think of rare blocks in Minecraft, your mind instantly goes to things like ancient debris, diamonds, and deep slate emerald. However, you do not think instantly of pumpkins and melons, which is strange, as these blocks are actually some of the rarest blocks in the game. Well, that is until you find just one of them. Now I'm set forever! Everyone knows the main Minecraft versions are Java and Bedrock. But where did the idea for education mode come from? Well, back in 2013, a school in Sweden made Minecraft a mandatory part of their school curriculum. I wish I had attended this school. There are 79 mobs in Minecraft, but you will never find 4 of these mobs naturally. This is because these mobs are locked behind cheats. Obviously, people know of the giant, but then there is also the zombie horse, the illusioner, and my personal favorite, the killer bunny. No, please let me go! When there is a piece of TNT about to destroy my base, my first thought is always to get away from it. But you should make sure your house has more windows because glass is surprisingly blast resistant. Obviously, it is nothing compared to obsidian, but it does have a chance of protecting you. Have you ever noticed how item drops in Minecraft are always vertical? I'm no Einstein, but how can a piece of armor stay upright? Well, item physics makes this much more realistic by making all items drop horizontal. Not only that, it also manipulates how items lay on the ground to trick you into thinking that they are actually in contact with the blocks below them. I love playing Minecraft for realism. Brewing charts will be the end of me! Why couldn't the devs have just told us what potion each item makes? Kind of like what Alchemy Helper does by adding what kind of potion will be made if you brew an item. This even goes as far as adding extra information to flowers to make it easier to craft suspicious stews. There are some mods that add things like cookers and microwaves into the game, but did you know you can actually do this in vanilla Minecraft? Well, if you use iron trapdoors and surround the block with a painting on it, you can create this amazing looking microwave. As for the cooker, just put an iron trapdoor on top of a furnace and it looks like a stove. Animal farms in Minecraft are boring. You always have a fence surrounding some animals on a grass block plot. However, this tiny little detail will help bring your animal pens to life. If you have a chicken pen, scatter some little hay beds around on an item frame and then place an egg within the item frame. And all of this just uses a horn coral fan. But make sure you waterlog the block it is on, otherwise it begins to look a little bit dead. Minecraft houses rarely come with bathrooms. This is both due to your player never using the bathroom and also how hard they are to create. However, this exceptional design lets you create a shower that actually looks like a shower. So no longer conform to your gamer tendencies. Build this shower today! Fish are some of the most underappreciated mobs in Minecraft. However, you can build these fish a rule-breaking home using just one block. Scaffolding can be waterlogged and then you can place your adorable little fishy friends into this fish tank. Just make sure you do not break the scaffolding. Mobs keep breaking into my bases and I am tired of it! So I found this amazing house hack that will stop any mobs from entering my house. Whenever a zombie chases me into my house, I turn around, open up this trapdoor, and watch them fall to their death. A big mistake is to not keep up with what's changed in game updates. In version 1.18, they even changed the way diamonds spawn. It used to be that diamonds mostly showed up between depths 5 to 12, but now you'll find them showing up more and more all the way down to bedrock. A mistake they that has taken millions of lives is digging under sand and having it fall on your head. The best way to avoid dying is to put a torch under any falling blocks. Any sand or gravel that falls on the torch breaks instantly. You should hide at night to protect yourself from monsters, right? Well, not if you're on the rare mushrooms biome. It would be a mistake to waste those nighttime hours because hostile mobs just don't spawn on mushroom biomes unless there's a monster spawner. One mistake is not getting a cat. It turns out creepers hate cats and will run if there are too many around your home. Plus, look how cute they are. Aww. Stop using powered rails. They're expensive and unnecessary. If you really want that speed boost, saddle up a pig and put it in the rail cart. No, I'm serious. Riding the pig in the minecart while pushing forward lets you move almost as fast on normal rails as you would on powered ones. Using a furnace for your food is a big mistake. Use a campfire. It doesn't need any fuel. And even if the fire gets put out, you can use a silk touch shovel to recover it, and the fire will be lit again. In Minecraft Bedrock, zombified piglins have a very small chance to spawn into the other world when a nether portal is first lit, which can make for a very scary surprise. Some players, however, have capitalized on this to make overpowered piglin farms that give infinite gold and resources. When you load an arrow or firework rocket into a crossbow, it'll update the icon to your hotbar to let you know which one it has in it. But if you drop the crossbow on the ground, the crossbow no longer shows what item it has in it, at least until you pick it up again. So try not to drop your firework crossbow into a pile of normal ones. Okay, let's be honest, no one is doing that. Mob heads are extremely rare, but most players never even bother to collect them. Well, that changes today! Did you know that wearing a zombie head actually reduces the detection range by 50%, allowing you to blend in with them and live out your days as a zombie? I love brains! Did you know it's actually possible to ban yourself from a single-player world? All you have to do is cram a bunch of weird text into a book, then fill an entire shulker box with them. The information is just too much for Minecraft to handle, so it'll just ban you. I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but hey, it's possible. Curing a zombie villager takes forever, but what most people don't know is you can actually speed up this process. For whatever reason, placing beds and iron bars around the villager will actually speed up the curing process by about 4%, which sure isn't that much, but hey, every second counts. Everyone wants a secret underwater base, but will often forget where it is. Well, how about this genius hack that uses a magma bubble column? It'll drag you down to the right spot to activate a hidden door or redstone contraption, letting you into your own personal underwater home. This warped fungi is the key to this home with this new hack. You basically have to hold a strider hidden in the wall, sitting in a 2-block space of flowing lava. If you hold out the warped fungi, the strider will walk up the lava to get it, activating the mechanism and opening the door. Then when you put the fungi away, the strider will slide back into place. One crazy Minecraft fact is that chests don't burn, even in lava. So if you want to hide your valuables, put them under a lava lake. If it's shallow enough, like 1 block deep, then you can access the chest while staying on dry land, and the lava will cover it completely. This genius hack lets you recreate the nether in the overworld, including totally not zombified piglins. To do this, you simply replace regular dirt with blocks and entities from the nether. But piglins zombify in the overworld, so disguise that with a piglin head forced onto them using a dispenser. Include some armor and weapons to hide the rest of their body too. If you want to hide your valuables, don't put them in a chest out in the open. Hide a barrel behind that chest, and you can still access it without people noticing it's there. Use powdered snow to wall jump your way up a cliff. This works great in the nether, where water isn't available to scale cliffs. So have a bucket of powdered snow ready. You can place the snow against the wall, hop off it, and mid-jump you can scoop it back into a bucket, and then place it again higher up. Keep going until you reach the top. If you need to find lush caves, look for azalea trees. These trees are easy to spot, with their weird windswept look, and they indicate that there is a lush cave directly below. So get digging! You don't need a furnace or smoker to cook your food, not anymore at least. As with a campfire, you can cook 4 pieces of food at once, basically for free. Put a hay bale underneath the campfire to give it a smoky flavor. Apparently, you can repair iron golems. If you see one all cracked up after a fight, you should be able to take some iron ingots and right-click on it. Hey, yeah, it fixes it right back up. That's super cool. I recently learned you can place beds underwater. Well, what's the point if you can't sleep in it? I mean, surely I can't hold my breath down here for 8 hours. Oh. I guess I can. Okay, but obviously that doesn't work under lava. What the hell, Mojang? In real life, people think coal and diamonds are both made out of the same thing. This means that if you apply enough pressure, like with a piston, you can literally turn coal into diamonds. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't work. Probably because it's not even true in real life. It's a myth there too. Double busted. It's been forever since we got a new note block sound, but apparently Mojang secretly added a new one just recently. All you have to do is place them on top of an iron block and right-click them 64 times each. Then when you activate them, Oh god, why? The blue axolotl is the rarest version of that mob in Minecraft, but the announcement for Caves and Cliffs Part 1 shows off the green axolotl. This was an early version of the axolotl that never made it into the release game, making it even rarer than the blue one. The heart of the sea is this blue orb, but it holds a secret. When fully activated as a conduit, the heart opens, showing a staring orange eye. This ancient fact is from even before Minecraft was made. It turns out the original apple sprite in Minecraft is from a previous game made by Notch, called Legend of the Chambered. Do you want to remove the hostile mobs from your survival world? Try building a mob switch. This hack lets you do it quick and easy, just using villagers. If you trade with one, then zombify them, they won't despawn, and count toward the amount of hostile mobs in the area, so no extra ones will appear. This simple hack lets you turn minecarts into two-seaters, with speed you can control. It turns out you can actually put a boat in the minecart and have it still work. The boat can fit 2 people, and when you row it, it actually changes the speed of the minecart, letting you go faster! Check this hack that lets you fly at the side of this building. It's not a potion or a elytra, it's actually a hidden bubble stream on the other side of these honey blocks. The honey is small enough that you can still use the stream, and if you want to hide the honey, just cover them in item frames with maps on top. This farm hack is actually brilliant because even when you're not there, none of the sugar cane will fall out or despawn, because the cane is actually standing on mud. Mud is a smaller block, and items pass right through it, so using that with a hopper underneath, all the sugar cane will land where it needs to. This mushroom is a light source. It may not look it, but the brown mushroom is generating the lowest light in the game, light level 1. Before glowberries, it might have been the only food that could glow. In fact, this is actually based on real mushrooms that glow in the dark. In the Java edition, you can use rail tracks to block mobs completely. Certain enemies like zombies and piglins will not cross the rails, unless they're a phantom and fly over it. Check out this sick grappling hook made entirely in-game. You just use a bunch of command blocks. It checks that you launched a fishing bobber, drags you toward it, removes the bobber when you reach it, and even stops you when you hit a wall for a perfect grappling hook experience. There was actually a secret red dragon that almost made it into the game. The plans were dropped in 2014, but Mojang has said that if they ever brought it back, it would come from the rarest item in the game, the dragon egg. This lava is trapped! The pressure plate technically fills that space with stone, so the lava can't flow into it. Use it as a decoration in your house? It's totally safe, until someone decides to break it. This secret is one you've seen and never even noticed. The title screen Minecraft has a 10,000 to 1 chance of changing the spelling to Minecraft. Circles are illegal in Minecraft, but with command blocks you can make one with an armor stand that rotates. This spawns stands as it rotates, with stand blocks on their head. Use a command to face a center stand and make the stands invisible for a perfect circle. If you're dealing with slime blocks, just crouch. If you enchant your leggings with Swift Sneak 3, you'll actually go even faster than if you were to just walk on the slime blocks. You can stack enchanted books with this secret exploit. Just put 2 books in a grindstone, and if the books are cursed, then the grindstone can't do anything to them. It just puts 2 books stacked together as a result. This illegal exploit makes you way stronger in the nether. Just hold up your shield while walking through the portal, and when you step out the other side, the game will assume you've always got it up, so you can sprint and fight, while still blocking at the same time. Using ice to slide in a diagonal is near impossible, unless you use this simple trick. Place the ice in a diagonal pattern, and then fill the edges with water. The water will keep you centered, and you'll keep going as fast as ever. One cool trick you can do with gas fireballs is sending the fireball where your friends don't expect it. That's because the fireball goes in the direction you look when it gets hit. That means you can throw a snowball, turn your head toward your friend, and when the fireball gets hit, it'll blaze toward them with murderous intent. This little detail doesn't get noticed a lot because you only see it from far away. Everyone notices how the world generates around them, but actually entities like chests and shulker boxes have their own range, at which point they disappear. You can even use this fact to hide stuff high in the sky, further than people on the ground can see. The Riptide Trident can let you fly through the air. But there's an issue. It works when you're wet, but if you're submerged in the water, you actually don't fly as high when you launch. This is because the water that you're in slows you down like crazy. Really, you should be standing in a puddle. And it works way better. Now, I definitely can't unsee this. When you connect 2 blocks of this glazed terracotta together, you end up with the face of a penguin. They're peeking up over the edge of the block. Put them in your guest bedroom so they can watch your friends sleep. This villager is unemployed, and he just hates it. Now you can tell. Put a workstation 32 blocks away in a super complex maze. The villager will make his way to it without fail. Look at him go. These walls are too thick. Better use a TNT cannon. Make an obsidian rectangle that's 7 blocks long, with an open end toward the wall. Add a block up on the left side here. Put a water block at the back and a slab at the front. Set TNT on the slab and up to but not including the water block. Then put 2 levers with redstone. One is for the TNT on the ground, the other for the slab TNT. Activate the first and watch them flow. Then before they explode, activate the other. It launches forward and smashes the base. Reload with TNT and do it again until you breach the walls. You can ignite TNT from miles away away with this glitch. If you attach a fishing rod to something and walk into the nether, the game will glitch and your fishing rod will have infinite range. Use it to set off TNT next to the enemy base from as far away as you can, and they'll never know it was you. If you run over and pretend to help, you can get into the base and take what you like. This base is covered in lava. Clear it with sand and scaffolding. Make a square of sand with a block square of sand in the corner. Each block will sink down and delete the lava in that space. Fill up to the surface so you can walk on it, then delete the top block of that one extra sand in the corner. Replace it with scaffolding and right-click on it to fill the rest of the lava. The scaffolding doesn't burn and deletes the lava. Dig the sand block down and repeat the process until the base is revealed. If the base is in the air and you don't have elytra, make a man cannon instead. Put some obsidian around a ton of TNT and minecarts. If you have blast protection, a shield, and stand on a higher level than the TNT, you can survive and still get launched way into the air. Hit yourself with punch arrows and you can get real distance onto that floating building. Mess with their armor dispensers. Put hidden waterlogged blocks there and hidden lava, so when they try to interact with a dispenser, they're overwhelmed in lava that quickly turns into obsidian. They won't have a diamond pickaxe to break out either, since if they're looking for armor, they probably just spawned. Find a way to get the debug stick. It's a special stick that can only be given with a command or robbed from a dead player. Get the debug stick and start clicking on everyone's beds. These beds are now marked as occupied and can't be used. To be a real menace, crash the server! It's easy with a lag machine, using this really simple redstone system that can be made as big as you want. The bigger you make it, the more it'll lag, until finally the whole server will crash! Mojang is generally good at dealing with glitches. However, because Minecraft is a sandbox, players have found countless ways to exploit certain problems with the game's code, including crashing an entire server with just a player head. If players get this particular player head in the game and then give it to their friend, the server you are playing on will entirely crash. And when it comes to crashing, Minecraft is generally pretty good. But did you know you can crash your game with this easy glitch? Thanks to the Dream SMP, players found out that they could create a ghost version of themselves using a boat. If you click really quickly on a boat, sometimes you can walk away from the boat, or the game still thinks you are in the boat. Unfortunately, this only works on a server, but it makes for some hilarious trolling. Here's another troll that you can do, and all you'll need is a bubble elevator and some harming potions. If you are being chased by your friend on a server and you rush to the top of your bubble elevator and throw harming potions into it, will float until a player hits them, meaning your friend takes heaps of damage. When pigs fly is something that you never see in Minecraft, but it should be when squids fly, since this hilarious mistake has led to squids being found flying in the air. Due to how squids are coded, for a while players would find them flying through the air. Squids work by always flying. It is just normal for them to be flying underwater as opposed to above water. This led to hilarious looking flying squids. Mojang repeatedly says that the block that causes the most mistakes in the game is the piston. However, one of their biggest mistakes actually turned into a well-known feature of the game today. The mistake allowed pistons to be activated by a nearby block which was directly above or diagonal to them. This was long before the introduction of redstone conductivity within blocks, and therefore it was something people really began to like. So Mojang decided to implement redstone conductive blocks into the game. Sand and gravel are two of the only blocks in the game to be affected by gravity, but sometimes you can find sand just floating there. This was actually a bug created by one of the developers for Mojang, which then went on to become a feature. The sand and gravel was meant to be fast traveled to the ground when it generated like this, but it was so fast that the game could not make it move. Eventually, the developer decided instead to add in dust particles so it could become a feature. The creeper is quite literally the face of Minecraft. However, Mojang is still desperately trying to make people forget that the creeper was a texture accident when developing the pig. While developing the pig texture, the texture suddenly drastically changed and would lead to the creeper. Mojang will never be able to cover this up. There are only 128 strongholds in an entire Minecraft seed, and if you dig block by block, you have a 1 in 23,420 chance of finding one. Yeah, that's insane. So let's look at how to bypass this insane probability without using Eyes of Ender. All you have to do is trap yourself in a 1x1 hole and put a gravity block like gravel above your head. Pair this up with Optifine and you'll be able to see for miles. Although, you might not want to do this trick with an anvil. You might have already known that lava is the best item to use for smelting, but with auto-crafters, this trend is about to change very fast. With this insane contraption that Razeworks set up, it turns out that kelp is far superior to any other smelting item in the game. By using a flying machine, you can automatically harvest kelp and pass it through a smoker to turn it into dried kelp. The crafters can turn these into dried kelp blocks, with each block smelting 20 items. This is so overpowered! I love emeralds, but finding them is incredibly difficult. However, there is a way to get an infinite supply of them by literally using dirt. Turn 3 of these bad boys into mud by using water and use a dripstone to turn them into clay. Now you've found yourself an infinite money glitch when trading with the stonemason. Most players eat a steak even if their hunger bar goes goes down by a single point. Doing this is super dumb and can even get you killed. The correct way to eat is actually to start with foods that restore low amounts of hunger, like carrots, and then move on to items like meat. This is because every food item in the game has a saturation value, which is the time it will take to have a hunger bar reduced. By doing this, you will never go hungry again. There's actually a secret way to breathe underwater without using a helmet enchanted with respiration. Everyone knows by now that you can place a door on the bottom of the ocean to make an air bubble. But if you only have blocks on you, one of the easiest options is to place a few like this, and then place a piece of sand in the middle, giving you an air bubble to breathe in. The other option is to build a conduit. That's gonna make you go bankrupt. Witch huts have the ability to spawn, witches. But also each time one is generated, a black cat will also spawn inside. They do have a tendency to walk off, but this is actually one of only 2 ways to find this sleek variant of Kitty. The only other way is wait until a full moon and venture out into a village, where each cat has a 50% chance of spawning as this magical black version. Have you ever run out of gold for powered rails because you never collect it when you're caving? Don't worry, so has literally everybody else that plays this game, but that means there's a solution! Putting a saddled pig in the minecart makes it go much faster on iron rails. It's kinda weird because you have to press the backwards key to move forwards, but it works just fine otherwise. Piglins are primal tribal creatures and do everything together as a group. Most people know they hunt down hoglins together, but you probably didn't know that there's a small chance that they'll dance together after taking one out. This is the Minecraft Trails and Tales trailer, and this is normal Minecraft. Yeah, this sucks. But we can fix this by using the Bare Bones pack. This just seems to bring everything to life, and we can make it even better by using the nostalgia shaders. I guess I won't be needing to bleach my eyes now. But there's one more pack that we can add to make this even better than the trailer. I'm talking about Simple Hotbar, which changes all the vanilla hunger bars, hearts, and even the UI boxes. Moving on to one of Minecraft's most important items, cakes! According to the way cake disappears in the game, it's clear that good old Steve is eating it vertically. This is clearly game-breaking and ruins my immersion. Mojang should have used better cake slices instead, which makes the cake disappear chunk by chunk instead. Finally, the game is playable! One of the most poor decisions was to make every single enchantment book look the same. Look at all these books! I bet you can't even tell the difference. However, using visual enchantments not only adds these sick animations to each book, but it also applies the same animations to whatever you enchant. Now this is something that should have been in the game for years. Everybody knows that naming a mob Dinnerbone flips it upside down, but I bet you didn't know there's a second secret name that does the same thing. If you call the mob Grum with 2 M's instead, it'll do the same thing. This was added at the same time as Dinnerbone, so I kinda feel bad he didn't get as much attention. Poor Grum. If you're like me, you probably still manage to get lost even with a map. But if you name a banner and place it down at your base, you can right-click it with the map, and a marker will pop up showing you exactly where home is. Remember the last time you used a furnace minecart? Yeah, me neither, but there is actually a way to use them that kinda makes them useful, I guess? If you push a furnace minecart into a chest minecart, they'll actually couple together, allowing you to transfer a huge bunch of resources easily without choker boxes. It all completely falls apart the second a corner or hill appears, but hey, they've got the spirit. Honey blocks are so sticky that mobs like villagers can't actually jump off them, meaning you can use them to hold them in place. And if you've spent ages pushing villagers around or using boats to move them, I'm about to blow your mind. You can't bait villagers around with seeds or carrots, but you can get them to follow you simply by having a chat with them. It seems they're so excited to trade with you that they just won't leave you alone, letting you bring them pretty much wherever you want. And if anything was to, happen to your villagers, don't use potions of weakness to heal them. Instead, you should use tipped arrows with a crossbow. If you have a high enough piercing level, you can shoot through multiple villagers, and then pick the arrow up after allowing you to cure hundreds of villagers with just 1 arrow. Blue axolotls have a very different chance of spawning naturally in the wild at a roughly 1 in 1,200 chance. But the reason this is so specific is for a really tragic reason. There are actually only 1,200 axolotls left in the world. So if you ever come across one of these, definitely make sure you report it to the authorities. When it comes to textures in Minecraft, most blocks and items will have a maximum of 7, but the compass, clock, and recovery compass are on an entirely different level, as these items have over 100 textures. This is because back before Minecraft Snapshot 13W02A, these items were actually procedurally generated, but it caused a surprising amount of lag, so it was just easier to give them more textures. Did you know that Minecraft actually changed the law in relation to what you can say on the internet? Early in 2023, someone said that they were going to kill someone within Minecraft, but it was taken as an actual threat in the real world. This actually ended up with the guy in court, before they decided that it was made in jest and the guy was let go without any repercussions. Eventually, this law was changed, and now it is a lot harder to get away with this. this? Did you know that the millionth purchase of Minecraft actually got a very exclusive item? A user by the name of Akronman1 received a special cape alongside with his purchase of the game, which cemented his legacy as the millionth person to buy Minecraft. Let's hope he migrated his account. I was building the other day when I suddenly realized that this block is a directional version that I never noticed. Deep slates can actually be placed like logs with different directions. Am I the only one who didn't know this? Minecraft is a game of luck. You always have a chance to come across a villager or to even come across a vein of 100 diamonds. However, there is one thing in Minecraft which has a considerably larger percentage, and these are the igloos. Did you know that these igloos have a 50-50 chance to spawn with a zombie villager underneath? That makes this one of the biggest chances in Minecraft. Crafting a boat in Java is very weird. Wait, where did these paddles come from? Thankfully, Bedrock Edition has a far better system for explaining this law-breaking feature. You need to craft a boat by adding in a shovel to be used as the paddles. Now this makes so much more sense. I tend to play Minecraft for a long time every day. However, when I need to get food or a drink, I always make sure to pause my game. This way, no mobs can come and steal my diamonds while I am away. However, with Bedrock Edition, this seems like a luxury, as in this version, pausing your game will not stop anything, as you can still be hit by mobs or have your valuable diamonds stolen. Wait! Bring them back! World generation is very different between Bedrock and Java Edition. However, Bedrock Edition has an entirely exclusive item. This is the Jigsaw block, a block that you cannot obtain naturally in Bedrock Edition, but it exists nonetheless. This block is responsible for the generation of structures like villages and pillager outposts. All this power in my hand! I desperately need to find a way to hide all of my diamonds. I keep seeing the villagers eyeing them up, so I will use the next exclusive feature to do just that. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to move functional blocks like the chest, hopper, furnaces, and even a brewing stand by using pistons. This will make hiding my valuables so much easier. I swear this next feature did at one point exist in Java Edition, but I could be entirely wrong. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, it is actually possible to craft a cobweb into 9 string. This makes those annoying cave spider spawners far better for gathering string than even the spider themselves. So next time you find yourself one of these spawners, be sure to grab all the cobwebs, but make sure not to get stuck in one. Ah, get away from me! I have just sheared all of my sheep, but now I cannot figure out which of them I have dyed and which one of them I have not. This is so frustrating! Well, in Bedrock Edition, the sheep will actually retain their wool color after they have been sheared, meaning you'll be able to see the pink color underneath their skin. Ah, this is much nicer. It's so easy to get lost in Minecraft. It even happens to me sometimes. But if you make a banner, name it using the anvil, then use the map on it, it'll show up on your map, plain as day. Now I just have to find my anvil to get started. Where did I put that? Want to loot a desert temple? Do not forget your water bucket. It's really useful if you accidentally step on that central pressure plate. Dig through it to expose the TNT, then pour that water on top. The first TNT will explode, but won't damage anything, or ignite the other TNT. This trident with Riptide is great for the high jump, but a big mistake people make is using it in deep water. You actually do much higher jumps in a 1-block deep puddle. The Sniper Duel achievement can be really hard to get normally, but this is Minecraft. Get creative! Trap a skeleton in a hole, put a block above its head, shoot the block with arrows, put a sticky piston there, connect a switch 50 blocks away, pull the switch, the block moves, the skeleton dies, and you get your shiny new achievement. If you think placing water in the nether is impossible, well, you're wrong. On this specific Minecraft snapshot, Mojang messed up and accidentally allowed players to bring water into the nether. If you place a piece of glow lichen in water, then shear the glow lichen and silk touch, placing this piece in the nether would cause water to start flowing everywhere, allowing me to fulfill my dreams and create a water paradise. Okay, just joking, this is a texture pack. Foxes can hold items in their mouths, but they won't just hold the item. After a while, they'll attempt to eat it if it's a food item. This means foxes are able to teleport when eating a chorus fruit, and if they eat something like a suspicious stew, they'll actually gain the effect from that as well. Just about everyone knows that sticks are a terrible fuel source when it comes to smelting items. But if you pour and that's all you have, I got you covered. Use a crafting table to turn them into ladders, which will make your sticks much more effective as a fuel source. The Wither is definitely not the friendliest of mobs, but if you've always wanted to befriend the guy, there's a way! A secret April Fool's snapshot called the Love and Hugs update. Oh, so cute. Turns the Wither into a friendly pink mob that actually heals everything around it. Who knew he had such a soft side? I love you, Withy. That's his name. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but amethyst clusters and geodes actually produce light. It's not a very bright light, but if you wanted to create a bar with ambient lighting, it actually works pretty well. If you're looking for a creative way to get lots of colorful wool for your survival world, one of the best places to look is actually woodland mansions. As it turns out, these mansions can have up to 30 13 different colors of wall blocks inside of them. Just make sure you don't bring shears though. You can create a wood house filled with lava. That's totally safe. Barrels don't burn in lava, and they're also the size and function of a full block, so you can use them as part of the wall construction. Add a lava lake to freak out your friends because they will not burn. Another way to hide things is with a smoke screen. Put a secret stone above a campfire and the smoke will billow up, disguising the gray button with the gray clouds so that nobody will know it's even there. Use it to hide a secret base entrance. Hide a lever using a dirt path. They're a pixel shorter than regular dirt blocks, and so make a 1 pixel gap when set against them. You can hide anything down in that space, including a lever for a secret entrance that's almost invisible. Here's a cool hack for storage space and style. Putting barrels at the head of your bed gives a look of a headboard, and that will be stylish in most homes. Plus, since they're barrels, you can put your valuables in there. Trees can look great, but this lets you decide how they grow. If you want it tall with no leaves pushing out until it's above your house, put blocks around your sapling up to the height you want. It'll grow into that shape just like a real tree. Herd your animals with speed with this dangerous hack. Put a block of water in their habitat so if they escape, you can set them on fire. They'll run back to the water, and you can close a gate on them with no hassle at all. This secret hack's been around for as long as you could till dirt, but it rarely gets used. Till dirt doesn't carry redstone signals, while regular dirt does. When you till the dirt, it breaks the signal and can activate a secret door. Awesome hidden trap to spring on your farming friends. Pros know to never use lava to get rid of your items. It's dangerous and there's no second chances. Instead, use a cactus. Make a cross-shaped hole, cover it, put a trapdoor above, and a button above that. Now you can throw your items on the trapdoor. If you throw the wrong item, you can just pick it up again. Then when you're ready, press the button and watch the items get deleted by a cactus. Hauling around a bunch of potions can fill up your inventory real quick. So instead, use arrows. They can stack, and if you move forward fast enough and look slightly up, you can hit yourself with your own arrow. You get the same effect while not wasting space with potions. Getting into and out of buildings can be done at high speed, and with no trace left behind using an ender pearl. Run to the wall and throw the pearl down at the corner where the wall and floor meet. Keep moving forward and you'll get to the other side. Pros use entity cramming for a lot of things. This is the act of putting way too many entities in the same single block space. Anything in there starts dying. And if you put a hopper beneath that, it's a very easy way to farm beef without huge contraption. But when you've got this many nether stars, what do you even use them for? You obviously don't need this many beacons. Well, this myth says that if you use a nether star and a beacon instead of iron or emeralds, you'll actually receive double the effects. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to work, but come on, Mojang, you may as well add this for the people that are insane enough to use netherite to power their beacons. They deserve something! Even though it's easily the scariest biome in the game, it's said that mobs won't spawn in the deep dark at all. I spent about 5 minutes flying around here and I didn't see any, so I'll just call this confirmed. Obviously, there's still one mob that can spawn here, but you can even totally disable this as well with this command. Suddenly, this place isn't so scary. Pillagers are a team, and even the Ravagers share traits with them. As the first and third Ravager hurt sounds are actually the Pillager hurt sound, pitched to sound much lower. This secret TNT technique can save your life. If you place TNT on a slab, the explosion damages much fewer blocks around it, making it much less scary to handle. You could even have TNT decorate your home, if you're brave. Fishing yanks fish out of the water at speed, but it's actually not an automatic animation. The fish are actually flying through the air, and if you step aside, they'll zip right past you. Use this secret to launch fish at your friends, slapping them in the face at high speed. Want to get your plants to stop growing so tall? Try this simple hack by placing string at the top. It will actually stop your plant from growing any further, and it's almost invisible. Perfect when you want to take a fancy picture without the bamboo blocking the shot. The sound of villagers waking you to the sound of their people can be great, but not if they all die during the night. So try this build hack to get them safe indoors. Bells can be activated with redstone, so just put a pressure plate by your bed, and when you go to rest, so will they. Do you need a protector for your base? How about a guardian with this simple hack? Put a guardian outside your home, and any player coming for your goodies will get blasted! Here's a defense hack that looks invisible. It's actually these azalea bushes, because apparently mobs don't know how to jump over them even though you can. So if you want a safe house that doesn't look like a prison, this works great. Also, killing mob farms are great for items, but this hack lets you get the XP from it too. Just sit one of your dogs next to a non-fatal drop like this. They'll get that last hit, and you'll get the experience. What a great team up. Speaking of mob farms, it can be a hassle making them, especially in the nether. But if you're specifically trying to get Enderman, this high IQ hack can make it way easier. Enderman hates Endermite, so use them as bait above a hole, and the Enderman will drop right in for the easy killing. The fastest way to get home is with an Ender Pearl stasis chamber. It's a fun technique where a pearl is kept hovering in a bubble elevator. If you connect it to a daylight sensor, when night comes, the bubble stream stops, and the pearl lands, teleporting you back home. This is a miracle. End portal frames have a 10% chance of spawning already filled with an eye. Having all of them filled only happens 1 in a trillion times. Did you know about Minecraft's secret F commands? Everyone Everyone knows about pressing F for all that info, but did you know about F3 plus B that shows everyone's hitboxes? What happens if I press F3 plus C? Ah! Behold, the mighty villager on his chicken steed! To get this secret villager, you have to find a baby villager riding a chicken. If you cure that baby, it will eventually grow up and become an adult villager on a chicken that works just like a normal villager, but you can attach a lead or lure them around with seeds. Most shulkers are easy to spot, but if you use the summon command, the shulker will be dyed a different color. They now look just like a dyed shulker box instead. You could replace your friend's box with one to freak them out when they try to get their stuff. This zombie is completely brain dead. That's because in this 1.9 snapshot, zombies spawn with the no AI tag set to 1, meaning nothing was going on inside their heads. Weird stuff started happening too, like sometimes they would float off in the air. Spy on your friends with this illegal one-way wall that's see-through on one side. It's built with item frames that have been turned invisible with this command. Put custom map frames onto them to make it look like a wall on one side and it will be invisible on the other. Try the most secret mechanism using this bizarre Enderman glitch. If you trap one in a minecart or boat next to a wall, arrows still won't work on it. Sometimes I'll even pass right through the Enderman and the wall. If you put a target behind that, you've now made a secret mechanism that's especially great for hidden doors. There's tons of secret actions you can do using the F keys on the top of the keyboard. Hold F3 and C and you crash the game. Tell your friends it's a fun visual glitch and watch them drop from the game as it crashes hard. They'll be off the server and you'll be in their secret stash of goodies. Behold the Hollow. It was an early version of the Warden and was scrapped for being way too scary. But since it was a functional prototype, you can still find references to it in the game's code. This illegal technique lets you put lava floating above water without either of them touching. All you have to do is put a sign in the water block and the lava can't burn it, but won't flow into it either. Create crazy, impossible water features just by using honey and pistons. Put them in this setup and the water will be diverted like this. Use this to make the water flow as you like and destroy all the blocks you placed. The water will keep that shape. This diamond sword looks so awesome and blue, but it's actually hiding a secret. Did you know that if you lower the contrast on your device to 0, you're gonna find that it looks exactly the same as the iron sword? I spent so many diamonds on this sword and it doesn't even look different. These bees are so heavy. Or maybe turtle eggs are super fragile because even bees, one of the smallest mobs in the game, will break eggs below them. Flying doesn't help either, as the Ghast, Phantom, and Alley all break eggs below them. What did the eggs do so wrong? When I look at a llama, all I will see is a vengeful beast because of this secret behavior. If you have the llama on a leash and you do something to upset it, it'll spit at you and will not stop until you are dead. The piglins, they won't stop shouting. It's all I can hear. Maybe I should put this gold away, because it turns out that if there's gold that the piglins can't reach, they'll just shout and yell over and over, waiting for someone to finally pick up the gold. I can't see this as anything but a trap. It looks totally normal, but this bed is on scaffolding. You'd think that would work, but there's actually a bug that causes the game to think you don't have a bed at all. When you die, you'll end up at the original spawn. Squids are weird and don't behave like other mobs. They don't have a way to rotate. That means no dinner bone and no death animation where they turn on their back. Do they even have a back? Squid are weird. I'm staying clear of them. A secret base can be hidden underwater, and it can be very hard to see. The easiest way to find it is to get in a boat and do this weird vision trick. When in the boat on the water, if you go into third-person view, you can angle the camera to just about touch the water surface. The vision will glitch and show you everything under the water without that underwater filter, making any odd structure or entity easy to find. Watch out for pitfall traps. If the floor disappears under you and the trap is revealed, do this crazy flying glitch. To do it, have the game in windowed mode, and when the floor falls away, right-click on the window bar at the top. You'll freeze in the air. You'll need a fellow home invader with you to put a block under you. So when you click on the game to unfreeze, you'll land safe and sound. Trap avoided! If the floor of your friend's base is only slab, then dig a tunnel under the ground of the building. Put a single water source block to have a little water flow through. If you ride a boat in that one block space, the water will bob you up through the floor and even let you interact with objects inside, like the button to open the door. Boats are amazing and can be used to break into buildings in a lot of ways. Put one on the roof and you can phase through by jumping in and out of the boat with perfect timing. Your friend might put an Elder Guardian near their base, giving you mining fatigue, making it way harder to break blocks to get in. That's why you should always bring buckets of milk. But if you don't have that, set up a bed spawn nearby and kill yourself! Mining fatigue is a 5-minute cooldown, so you'll have plenty of time to break in and loot the place before it can hit you with it again. Mojang has given themselves the power to ban people and hate when you have items with dangerous names. If they're rude, illegal, or named after real-world guns, Mojang will ban you completely. You're in someone else's server, so why not advertise your own server and entice people to join it? It'll make the server owner so mad as you endlessly pull people away from their precious world. Get this invisible block. No, it's not a barrier block, but actually block 36, a glitched piston that was duplicated created using an end crystal and this machine. Put an item frame on it and it goes invisible. Since it's a glitch block, when you stack sand on them, the sand stays there, but still acts like it's falling, so people can fall through it. A perfect invisible trap. Why not skip the middleman and just hack the server owner's account? That way you don't have to wait for a ban, you can just do it yourself. Find out if the server owner has a pet, then find an animal that looks just like it in the game. Tag it with the same name, then taunt the server owner as you kill the pet in cold blood. It's an awful thing to do and will definitely get you banned. Why not go further? Find their real pet and kill it in front of them! Though you'll probably get banned from society for that one. See you in jail! This special book will get you insta-banned. If you fill a book with text, get a bunch of books filled with that text, and then put it in a shulker box, the moment anyone opens that box, the server overloads and the player is instantly banned. Destroy the rarest item in the game. If you get into a server early, speedrun killing the Ender Dragon and get that dragon egg first. Chuck it into the void and nobody will ever get the egg ever without cheating. Another weird moment in Minecraft's history that Mojang would like to forget was when the Ender Dragon was so buggy it would just fly there and dance. And this can even still happen to this day. This next secret is even more hilarious. One thing you would not expect in Minecraft is an Easter egg for Age of Empires. If you have an evoker next to a blue sheep, the evoker will actually change the sheep to be red. This is a reference to priests in Age of Empires who turn your units into enemy units. I have found a secret which is absolutely game-breaking. The Nether is a very dangerous place for any Minecraft player. However, for those who want to fight the Ender Dragon, they have to go to the Nether and fight one of the hardest enemies in the game, the Blaze. However, did you know blazes have one big weakness in snowballs? Throwing snowballs at these blazes will actually damage them and make killing them a little bit easier. Did you know that giving a wolf certain effects will make its tail spin? You just need to give a wolf maximum regeneration, health boost, and absorption, and then he will become a very happy doggo. One other secret comes from armor stands. If you look at the texture for armor stands in the bottom right, you would see the name Surge. This is actually the name of the person who implemented armor stands into the game. Also, if you look on the bottom left, you will see the name Jaffa, who was a texture artist for the armor stand. Certainly a nice Easter egg for the developers. This villager trade is so incredibly overpowered, you won't believe it exists. If you have a villager who trades emeralds for wheat in a desert village, you've just hit the jackpot, baby! All you need to do is go around the village, collect an absurd amount of hay bales, and craft all of them into wheat. Voila! Your very own emerald machine. The only downside to trading with villagers is that you'll be running out of emeralds very fast. So if you're a bit of a cheater like me, change the difficulty of your world to hard with a /difficulty command, and lure a zombie to a villager with the best trades. Once the villager gets zombified, trap him in an iron blocks, place a bed, and start stuffing him with golden apples and potions. Now you've got yourself the best deals on the planet. Although this does feel kind of wrong. What's better than food? Free food! And you can get this easily if you use a campfire to cook it, because this uses 0 fuel. I know I'm being a cheapskate here, but a penny saved is a penny earned. Am I right? You could even attach a hopper to the campfire and always have food ready for you. Be honest, how many times have you died at the worst time possible and lost everything? So if you don't want to end up like Filzer, here's a trick to get infinite health and save all your goodies. First, eat an enchanted golden apple, and follow that up immediately with a plain golden apple. Wait for the absorption effect to run out, and then do this all over again. Do this correctly, and even the Ender Dragon can't do anything to you. Okay, maybe you can, but you get the point. Are you one of those weirdos that prefers using donkeys over horses for the extra storage space? First of all, why are you using horses in the first place? It's 2023, man, get an elytra! But secondly, llamas are a way better option. They can have up to 15 inventory slots, and form groups of 10 that follow each other around. Using shulker boxes, you can transport up to 4,000 stacks of blocks with you. That's this many blocks, more than you'd ever need. And if you need another reason to make the switch to llamas, check this out. While horses and donkeys just sink like rocks when you try to ride them in water, llamas can swim. You still can't control them or anything, but if you need a fancy pool float or something, llamas work perfectly. Fireworks can be used for a bunch of things these days, but I bet you never thought of making a cannon with them. That's right, fireworks launched from dispensers actually do damage to mobs, meaning firework crossbows are out, and this is the new best way to take out mobs. Here is a secret way to make an awesome Japanese decoration. Place a warped trapdoor onto the top of the water, then place a glow item frame with a block of gold inside. Once you have done this, add a pink coral and surround it in lily pads, and you have a beautiful lotus flower for your nearby river. 1.20 introduced one of the funniest and best new mechanics to Minecraft, player head note blocks. However, with this also came some of the funniest death messages ever seen in Minecraft. If you wear a mob head and then die to the same mob, it will show the death message, Mallow was killed by friendly fire. Speaking of player heads, there's actually a secret mob head currently hidden inside the game's code, and that is the Illager head. It has the same effect as all the other mob heads when put onto a note block as well. Warden hitboxes are absolutely pointless. A Warden, despite being one of the largest mobs in Minecraft, can just casually stroll through a 1-block gap. Wait! Ah, no! Cats in Minecraft have a pretty bizarre history. When they were first introduced, you would have to tame an ocelot and then you would get a cat. But this was eventually revoked and a separate cat mob was created. But did you know that the ocelots are quite weird in how they spawn in Minecraft, as technically they are considered a hostile mob? This is true as they will not spawn in a peaceful world in Minecraft. No! Come back, little kitty! There is only one place you can find naturally spawning carpets, and that is the Woodland Mansion. However, you cannot find every type of carpet here. The Woodland Mansion in Minecraft Bedrock Edition is unable to spawn with orange or light blue carpets. This is because light blue carpets are used in the ancient cities, and then orange carpets appear in villages within the savannah, meaning that every carpet can be found naturally within the game. There are not many mobs in Minecraft that never touch the ground, but the ones that we know of are allays, vexes, and ghast. However, did you know that these mobs are still capable of destroying turtle eggs? For those who do not know, turtle eggs will break when a mob or player stands on top of them, and this will also happen if an allay floats above them for some strange reason. Job blocks were first added in Minecraft 1.14, and this brought blocks like the lectern, fletching table, cartography table, and more. Some of these blocks were actually meant to be added into the game beforehand, such as the lectern, which Dinnerbone developed back in 2012. However, the job block proved to be far too buggy and was pushed all the way back to 2018. Did you know that glazed terracotta can actually spawn naturally? Well, despite it being one of the ugliest blocks in the game, you can actually find almost every type of glazed terracotta in the wild. The reason I say almost every is because you cannot find green, magenta, or pink glazed terracotta naturally in the overworld. Again, I hate these blocks, so really would not have an issue if none of them could be found naturally. When you grow sugarcane, it can only grow up to 3 blocks tall. However, did you know that sugarcane that spawns naturally actually has a 1 in 9 chance to generate 4 blocks tall? Wow, so much sugar and it's all for me! When Minecraft were developing the Deep Dark, they were trying to make the best blocks and environment for the new part of the cave system. So much so that at one point they were testing out some different names for Deep Slate, and were at one point about to call Deep Slate Grimstone instead. This would have been a far more eerie name for the block. One thing that Minecraft is very bad for is storage solutions. The only real storage options are chests, barrels, and throwing stuff onto the floor and hoping you sort out your inventory quick enough so it does not despawn. However, these rule-breaking storage solutions can make your home look far better. If you place campfires into a cupboard of trapdoors, you can make this meat-drying cupboard. Certainly an interesting take on a kitchen accessory you didn't know you needed. I'm a bit bored of my bed. I think I want to get a bunk bed. And thanks to this building hack, I can create a bunk bed that finally lets me achieve my dream of having a bunk bed, but I have no one to share it with. Not every person wants to live in a house on land. Some people want to live on a boat, and this building hack lets you have all of your necessities on one small boat. Time to sail the 7 seas! See you later. Unfortunately, there is no good couch within Minecraft unless you use mods. However, you can actually create the illusion of there being pillows on your couch. If you break the blocks out from underneath the couch and put armor stands with dyed leather helmets, you can create these really cool pillows for your couch and really bring the house to life. They are not very comfy though. Getting caught in a raid can be a nightmare, but don't make the mistake of fighting off the enemies in open combat. Just dig down! In a 3-block hole, you can hit the Ravager, but it can't hit back. Want to sneak fast? Use Swift Sneak correctly. If you sprint, jump, then sneak as you land, your Swift Sneak movement will actually be going 1 block faster every second than you would sneaking normally. If you find yourself in a cold biome and want to make a farm, you can! But don't make the mistake of using open blocks of water. Use waterlogged leaves instead, because these don't freeze like water does. Ladders take a lot of wood to make, and when you're exploring, you might make the mistake of wasting wood for no reason. Instead, grab a friend, get some shields, and start punching each other. The knockback can launch you 6 blocks into the air with some real speed. Speaking of mansions, Vindicators will stop at nothing to murder entire villages worth of villagers, but they're not completely heartless. Even though they're happy to kill tons of adult villagers, Vindicators will actually refuse to target baby villagers. But that isn't going to slide in my book, because there's actually a way around this. If you're on Bedrock Edition, naming a Vindicator Johnny will turn him into a psychopath, and he'll go on a rampage, regardless of age. That's more like it! Cave noises have been the #1 enemy of my soiled underpants. But did you know you can actually predict exactly when these will happen? Simply press F3 and wait for the mood percentage to hit 100%, and when it does, the sound will play. Or just turn your sound off. I'm still not taking the risk. When it's snowing outside, snow layers will pile up on top of all the blocks around you, sometimes even stacking up to the size of a full block. But for some reason, there are 2 blocks in the entire game that this doesn't happen to. Both ice and packed ice are immune to snowfall, and even trying to manually place snow on them doesn't work. This isn't the case with blue ice though, even though they're almost the exact same. I bet you didn't know that after using a sponge, if you put in a furnace and use a lava bucket as fuel, you will receive not only your dry sponge in return, but the water bucket in the fuel slot will be filled right back up with water. Nice attention to detail, Mojang. Most players know that there are 2 types of cows, regular cows and mushrooms. Though what most people don't know is that there's actually a secret hidden 3rd type of cow. During a thunderstorm, thunderstorm, if a mushroom is struck by lightning, it'll turn into the ultra-rare brown mushroom. This special type of mushroom can give you suspicious stew, instead of the boring old mushroom stew that a regular mushroom gives. Gross. For some reason, when turtles are struck by lightning, they turn into wooden balls? What is this, Mojang? Almost everybody knows that sunflowers in Minecraft always face east. But there's actually another plant that does this kind of similarly. Pumpkin stems will always point northwest. This soft hack lets you soundproof your surroundings. Wool can actually be used to block sounds from getting to a skulk sensor, which is great if you only want it noticing people breaking into your house. Cobblestone generators can be a pain with the risk of making obsidian, but mangrove roots save you from that struggle in a crazy hack. Waterlogged mangrove roots count as a water source block, but it doesn't flow, so the water won't touch the lava, meaning obsidian won't get made, but you'll get cobblestone all day. Daylight sensors can be used in all sorts of genius hacks, including this grandfather clock that actually tells the time. This sensor can detect the gradual change in lights depending on the time of day and will send signal updates based on that. Connect that to a bell and you've got a countdown to nightfall. This honey block hack makes a great conveyor belt, as the blocks are pushed around with pistons in a circle. You can put armor stands or even loose items on that honey, and it will carry it around. It's been used for armor sets and even for a sushi bus. Are villager trades unfair to you? Then break the lectern, smash it to pieces, and then put a new one in. The villager loses their job and has to reapply, and when they do that, they get whole new trades. Wouldn't you like a trade? Make the trade and it will get locked in permanently for that villager. Have you got a pet zombie or skeleton? Pros know the best way to keep your undead army alive is by giving them hats. This blocks out the sunlight so they don't burn, even in a desert. Want to break tough walls? Well, pros know that if you grow a mushroom using bone meal, it will literally delete almost any block it grows into. Make sure it's not exposed to the sun though. The fastest way to make a big hole in the ground is a TNT duplicator. Keep this design high above the ground because it's going to be dropping TNT down and blowing up everything below it until you tell it to stop. Does blowing up ores give you XP? I know it gives you 100% of the resources now, but I've never dared to mine diamonds with it. Oh yeah, it does give XP. I think I'll stick to my pickaxe though. This just feels wrong. Apparently you can't spawn withers in snowy biomes. Yeah, snowy taiga, frozen peaks, even snowy beaches don't work. Wait, what if you break the snow layers below? Ah, there! Myth busted! It works! I should probably run away now. According to this myth, there's actually a time where looking in an enderman's eyes is a good idea. Obviously, they became aggressive when you first look at them, but from now on, whenever you lock eyes, they'll freeze completely in place. I don't know what you do from here, but hey, this myth is true. The light of a beacon looks great from close or far. The cool secret aspect is how it reacts to stained glass. Each glass put in the way of the beam changes the color, making millions of possible shades. Here's a fact you might not know. The illusioner can't handle boats. They get so confused that when shooting their bows, the arrows go backwards. In the original trailer for Minecraft, way back in 2011, this mysterious other variant of Steve was present. He's not available as a choice in the launcher, so this is the only example of him that exists. The end wasn't always where it is now. During early developments, the end was supposed to be a sky dimension. Secretly, they saw the sky dimension as heaven, and the nether as hell. This spooky fact runs a chill down my spine, because if you play the music discs 5, 11, and 13, after 5, 11, and 13 seconds, they combine to play the sounds of a survivor's terrifying story. Have another great defense hack that brings an adorable edge to your builds. If you want to keep creepers away from blowing up all your hard work, get a bunch of cats. The more, the better. Creepers and even phantoms are afraid of them, and will turn and run if the cat gets too close. This hack lets you show off a puffer fish in a glass case, puffed up at all times. It does this because there's actually an armored stand underneath, keeping it on edge. Above the stand is a waterlogged chest, keeping the fish alive, and a picture frame to cover that up. The glass case is a block that's been pushed on top with a piston to keep the fish in place. Optical illusions can be used in some crazy hacks, like this house that watches you wherever you go. Thanks to the way those creepy eyes have been made, they actually sink into the building, creating that creepy illusion. I've got my eye on you. This weird hack takes advantage of a cute little axolotl. If you tie a leash to one and connect that to a post, that post gets this cool rope model put on it. And when you pick the axolotl up again in the bucket, the leash is gone, but the rope stays, providing a nice detail to your fancy bridge or fence. Check out this insane near illegal hack, where this water is somehow protected from the lava. What's actually happening is that the lower block has a waterlogged sign, and that sign is keeping the lava up, while the waterlogging makes sure it doesn't burn. It's a crazy hack which can be a crazy decoration to show your friends. Ride any creature you want. The ride commands lets you or anything you want ride on top of any other creature, such as this bee, so I can fly without even needing a elytra. Get a whole squad of bees and play fly to the bumblebee bees that you descend upon your enemies. Ever wanted to feel what it's like to be a shulker? Crawl down into a 1-block space with a shulker block underneath you. When you open the box, then close it again, you'll end up inside the box. Let me out! This killer rabbit is extinct. Back during version 1.8, there was a very rare chance that the killer bunny would spawn and attack the player. You could still breed the bunny and create more killers too. The model even had blood on its mouth in some versions. This secret trick to survive anything without any items. There's a million ways to avoid damage using special blocks, armor, or potions. But if you have nothing, exit the game just before you take damage. In LAN or single-player games, when you load back in, the damage is ignored. This weird secret will let you have a pet chicken without having to deal with any eggs filling up your space. The trick is to find a chicken that spawned with a zombie on top. Those chickens never lay eggs, and so they work perfectly as a pet. They're way better than dogs too. This secret lets you drop from high places without using water, so your friends will be super confused how you survived. Berry bushes actually catch you when you fall from any height, and baby berry bushes don't even hurt you, allowing you to escape completely untouched. A new skulk vein can look pretty weird, but if you put it in on a diamond block, it actually looks like a color swap of magma blocks that you can use for mind-bending patterns. This secret to getting dragon's breath is really dangerous. If you go right up to the ender dragon's mouth, you can get the breath directly. It's difficult, but way faster than just picking it up off the floor. I can't see the way arrows stick into you. They don't actually work based on where you got hit. The game has already decided where the arrows will stick out of you. You can tell because when bees sting you and arrows hit you, they can end up in the exact same space. Candles are powerful, but only on cakes. In Java Edition, the cake will not get waterlogged, pushing the water away while the little candle burns bright and strong. I'll never stop fearing this horde of Vexes because they do not care about survival. They are all about the kill, as they go through damaging cacti and other dangerous blocks, desperately trying to get at you. Axolotls are adorable, but also really sneaky. They can play dead if they take damage underwater, slowly regenerating health over time. This is actually based on real-life axolotls who play dead if they feel threatened. Goats are a great addition to the game, but I just can't look at them anymore because of what I noticed about their legs. They're not attached! Look at the way they walk. Do you notice the top edge of their legs? There's a big gap between the leg and the body. Uh-oh! Shulker sensors have been placed all over this minefield. One noise, and it all goes up! You could sneak by, but you can easily get caught. So you've got to move fast. The answer is to jump and sneak. If you constantly jump the entire way and press the sneak button, just as you hit the ground each time, you can go fast and stay quiet enough for the sensors not to notice you. This next trick will let you fly up to high buildings without TNT or Elytra. The trick is to get your own pet shulker. You need to catch them in a boat or minecart that leads to the end gate out of the end city, and eventually through the main end portal into the overworld. Row them away in a boat toward the target base and let yourself get cursed with levitation. You'll fly up into the sky, and with a good enough levitation, it won't matter how high the base is. Use subterfuge. If your friend is in need of a certain mob, like a particular villager or perhaps the ultra-rare brown panda, get one for yourself and offer to bring it to their base. You can lead it over, and you'll get access to the base as you bring the creature into its new home. Once inside, steal as many items as you can. It's fair payment for such a rare panda. An endangered species, you know. Fencing has been used to cover this entire opening. There's no way in without breaking it, unless you get a trapdoor. The crawl mechanic actually changes your hitbox, and with a fence like this, if you set up a trapdoor right next to it and make yourself crawl, you'll be halfway through the fence already. Just keep moving through and you'll slide right in without breaking a single block. Use a VPN. Microsoft hate when people try to bend the rules, so they will ban you if they find out you're using a VPN. You can use Mojang as a weapon. Go into a server and report everyone in the server to be banned. It might even work, getting innocent people banned for no reason. But if the server owners don't ban you, Mojang will catch on and ban you for false reports. Rule PvP with this evil cheat that will definitely get you banned. If you can access commands, turn your armor invisible with this command. That'll teach them for giving you so much power. The fishing rod is one of the most versatile items in the game. You can reel in just about anything, whether that be fish, mobs, armor stands, shulker attacks, and even players. Another funny Easter egg by the developers was the introduction of languages to the game. Now, most of these languages are pretty normal. However, some stick out as being a bit bizarre. These languages are lolcat, pirate speak, Shakespearean, and upside down English. But the most well-known are definitely Klingon and one of the Elvish languages from Lord of the Rings. Obsidian is one of the hardest blocks in Minecraft, but did you know it has the same explosion resistance as a leaf block? Simply waterlog the leaf block and then explode away, and your precious chest of diamonds will be completely fine. Did you know snow golems are the hardest mob to trap in Minecraft? They will always be looking for a way out of anything you trap them in, leading to some hilarious snow golem maze possibilities. Help! I'm falling and have nothing to clutch with! Well, if you had a potion of slow falling, you could easily save yourself. Simply throw the potion at the floor as you land, and you will save yourself from certain death. Speaking of certain death, there is only one mob that can instantly kill you in Minecraft. And believe it or not, it is not the water Warden, Wither, or Ender Dragon, but actually the Charged Creeper. One explosion from a Charged Creeper is enough to kill you in full netherite armor. Did you know that you can make potions with a crafting table? Well, sort of. If you craft Suspicious Stew, you can give yourself any potion effect in the game, and it all depends on what flower you use to make the stew. Alliums, for example, will give you fire resistance. However, one of these flowers is more unique, and that is the Lily of the Valley. If you made Suspicious Stew using this flower, it would actually poison you. This is because the Lily of the Valleys is actually a poisonous flower in real life. Redstone can be used in two different ways. You are either a genius who can create a working computer in Minecraft, or you place a button next to a note block. This next rejected Minecraft idea would have brought an entirely different level to redstone engineering. The timer block would have given off a redstone pulse after the timer had reached 0. This would have been amazing for setting up traps and then messing with your friends. Minecraft's food solutions are kind of boring. The only food in the game you can actually place is a cake, and then eat it too. However, did you know that originally the pumpkin pie was intended to be a placeable block similar to the cake? It would have worked the same way as the cake, where you take a couple of slices at a time until your hunger is full. I am honestly not sure why Mojang never implemented this. Step right up, come and try for your prize. We have iron horse armor, diamond horse armor, gold horse armor, and a regular boring saddle. Well, those prizes hardly seem fun. I wish there was a different type of saddle. Well, originally there would have been. Before they decided to make horse armor, they were originally planned to be different saddle types. Instead, now we get the same regular boring saddle. Another massive mistake that many players make is mining obsidian directly after pouring water on lava. While it's easy to avoid, most die because of this. But I've got just a solution for you. Next time, pour water on a nearby block to solidify the new layer of lava. It's that simple. There's only one thing that's harder than bedrock: boats. By placing boats under mobs, you can immobilize them completely. They become completely docile and will look at you even if you try to murder them. Who knew an Enderman's worst enemy was some wood? However, this isn't even the best part. If you trap a creeper and sit inside the boat, you will take a total of 0 damage. How is this even allowed? For years, people have been using clutches like the water bucket and holding down certain movement keys. But there's a much more overpowered way of doing this by using powdered snow. This is much better than water, which will usually waterlog leaves. However, not only that, you can climb upwards by wearing leather boots. So even if you have 2 snow blocks, they're enough to get you out of any hole. Do you want to hide items from your friends? Easiest method to do so by far is to attach hoppers to grass paths. Once items drop onto these, they will disappear completely. Wait, so this is where villagers hide all their loot? One of Minecraft's most valuable objects is ender pearls. Unfortunately, getting them can prove to be quite difficult because of a certain someone. But I'll let you in on a secret. You can fix this problem in seconds. All you need to do is build a massive hole like so and build a tower right above it when you're in the end dimension. This should be at least 3 blocks high. This is because endermen are roughly the same height as this, so once they fall in, they can't even touch you. Oh, come here, you cutie. Look, he's harmless. I spoke too soon. Look at how boring this armor looks. And look at it now. Did you see how much of a difference having an armor trim makes? And my personal favorites are the silence and water armor trims. But when it comes to looting them from ancient cities, my luck is straight up horrible. No, stay away from me! Anyway, there are a few things you can do to maximize both your loot and safety in ancient cities. One of these is always using a recovery compass to make sure that your loot is never lost and you can continue from where you left off. Redstone ore is the only reactive ore. Whenever you walk past redstone ore or interact with it, it will light up and then go dark again, except for deep slate redstone ore. Mojang clearly forgot to make deep slate redstone ore go darker after a while, so now you can use it as a light block. Wait, why is it so dark? Everyone knows that you can fly in survival Minecraft. You can do this with an elytra, boats, and even with a pig. However, what most people didn't know is that you used to be able to fly up using a fishing rod. All you need to do this is a fishing rod and a minecart between updates 1.9 and 1.15, and then just spam away. I think I've flown a bit too high. Uh-oh. Item duping has been a huge issue in Minecraft since day one. No matter what Mojang does, they just can't fix it. However, in the current version, this feels way too easy. Simply place a chest and save and close your game. Reopen the world and instantly open your chest and put everything in before closing your game with Shift and Escape. Open up Task Manager and close Minecraft. Reload the game and you have all your duplicated items. I'm rich! Breathing underwater is impossible unless you have a helmet with respiration. But what if you wanted to explore a submerged cave and did not have this enchantment? Well, Well, why don't you just make a bucket? Since if you swim forwards and just keep clicking with the bucket, your oxygen should not go down. Take that, Mojang! The Farlands have become an iconic part of Minecraft's history, and now Mojang wants you to forget they ever existed due to how they were actually an accidental bug. The way this worked would be that eventually the world would stop generating chunks, and therefore the chunks would try to generate themselves and would cause the area to completely bug out. Maps are one of the most annoying things to craft in Minecraft Java Edition. No one really needs them for anything, and that's why it is annoying when you need a compass to make them. So imagine my surprise when I found out that Bedrock Edition has a far better way of making maps. By using a cartography table, you can actually craft empty maps using only a single piece of paper. Now I can have infinite maps! Cakes are my favorite food in Minecraft. However, I can never carry that many of them because they do not stack like any other food in the game. But in Bedrock, cakes are actually stackable. I can finally carry around 2,304 cakes in my inventory. You never know when you might be a bit peckish. One of the best creative features within Bedrock Edition is definitely the structure void. This is not a block that is only in Bedrock Edition, but the Java counterpart is pretty horrendous. In Bedrock Edition, the structure void will let you place items on top of it, such as rails and flowers. But the best part about this is that you can still walk through the structure void, meaning you can make amazing looking roller coasters without all the hideous blocks for your rails to go on. Looking at the sun can be immensely dangerous. However, within the Java edition of Minecraft, looking at the sun does nothing to you. If you were to do this in the Bedrock edition instead, you would see this weird blindness effect appear on your screen, which is what happens when you actually look at the sun. Although I will not look for too long. Ah, my eyes! Eating berries is a mistake! The bushes are decoration at best, and are actually one of the worst food types in the game, filling you less than even raw beef. Your chests need protecting. Don't make the mistake of letting creepers destroy them. To be totally sure they're safe, waterlog the chest. The water will protect it, and the creeper would have exploded for nothing. It's always a mistake to come unprepared, especially in the ancient city. Bring slowfall potions because you can jump through the city from any height. And if you stay in a straight line, you won't trigger the sensors. In creative mode, people always make the mistake of not using all 10 of their hotbars. That's right, 10! In creative mode, you can save your hotbar to a number. Save your hotbar using the C key and a number you want it saved to. Press X and that same number to access that hotbar in an instant. Dirt and grass blocks appear to be basically the same, but something you might not have noticed is that grass blocks actually take a tiny bit longer to mine than dirt blocks. The same is also true for stone and cobblestone. Even though they seem to be the same thing, cobblestone takes just a little more time to mine. Bet you didn't know that. You can actually equip villagers with armor by shooting it onto them with a dispenser. You won't see the armor appear on the villager, but they'll get all the effects from it, including not just the increased defense, but all the enchantments as well. Glow Lichen is used for all sorts of creative hacks, such as this carpet balcony that looks great and glows to light up a restaurant while keeping deadly mobs from spawning. This icy hack lets you build an ice rink super fast in the desert. Most people see frost walker boots as mostly pointless because you need to be moving and the ice melts really quickly. However, if you build an ice lake underground, the sun can't get to it, and you can create a winter wonderland under the Sahara. This speedy hack lets you mine out a large area of stone incredibly quickly so you can focus on making your underground base. All you have to do is put down some moss, use bone meal, and the moss replaces all the stone around it while leaving the precious metals like diamonds and iron. If you dig it out with a stone hoe, it goes almost immediately. Banners aren't just good to show you colors, they can imitate metal in this crazy hack. With the right designs and placement, banners can look like sheet metal, perfect for builds designed to look like big industrial machines. This huge building is watching! See, if you put this banner design behind the trapdoor, the sway animation on the banner will make it emerge outward, looking like it's opening and closing its eyes. This fancy chair has secret storage compartments filled with food, perfect for lazing around. The key is that the decorative layer is actually a traveler's llama. The llama itself has been turned invisible and has storage boxes attached to it. It's everything you need from a comfy chair. And if you're ever left with a ton of wet sponges for whatever reason, don't dry them in a furnace. Instead, take them to the nether where they'll dry out instantly in the heat. Then you can use an enchanted hoe to pick them up super fast and get straight back to sucking. God, why did I just say that? Get fortune on all of your tools as soon as you can. The Fortune 3 hoe can get 5 potatoes from a single plant. Flint can come from every block of gravel, and diamonds are plentiful wherever you go. You're wasting resources the longer you don't have Fortune 3. Fill your pool instantly by using this pro strat using ICE towers and weird physics. Basically, 2 water source blocks with a gap between them turns that gap into a source block. So if you line an area with ice block towers with a space between them on 2 sides, then change them to water, they will fill the pool entirely with source blocks almost instantly. Respawning in the nether needs a respawn anchor, but it only has a certain amount of charge. It used to be that you had to manually recharge the anchor, but now you can simply dispense glowstone into it, and it will work. Make this setup filled with as much glowstone as you can get, and you can die 100 times and not lose your respawn. All my life, I've made this huge enchanting setup with all these bookshelves, but apparently you only need 15 bookshelves in total, meaning this tiny setup works just as well as this one. And wait, it's actually true? My life is a lie. There are 3 different types of overworld frog: warm, cold, and temperate. But supposedly there's a 4th secret frog you can only get in the end. If you take 2 frogs and lead them to the stronghold, send them through the portal and feed them slime balls, the tadpoles will grow into super frogs! Yeah, I just made that up, they're just normal. Myth busted. This myth says you can shoot fire arrows to the bottom of a lava cauldron, but there's no way that's true. Can you even shoot below them at all? Huh, wait, I guess it is true. How didn't I know that? Am I stupid or something? Talking about mobs, there's tons in Minecraft. But did you know this mob was actually changed into an item? That mob is the humble sign. Yes, originally it was classed as a mob, which could only be spawned by pressing B, and only had a pre-written message on it. Don't try to raid a baby strider! As even if you use a command to tame a baby strider and have a saddle on it, the moment you ride it into lava, you'll catch on fire! The baby is just too small to protect you from it. Did you know that Steve wasn't always called Steve? He actually didn't have a name at first, and they had to scramble to come up with one when they agreed to have him show up in the indie game Super Meat Boy. This special secret about iron could save your home, because it turns out an iron chain has the same resistance against explosions as a full iron block, despite being made with way less materials. Put them in your walls and you've got a fortress. This fun hack will protect your buildings from being mined away by dirty, griefing players. It's simple, just hide an Elder Guardian underneath your home, and breaking your walls and floors will become near impossible. Another way to defend is to make sure your enemy actually dies with this high IQ hack. Normally your enemy can jump out of lava, but if you put a honey block under a cauldron with lava in it, it becomes way harder, and almost guarantees they won't survive. This weird hack lets you actually sleep among the fishes. It turns out you can put a bed underwater, and it will make an air pocket when you lie in that bed. You can even use this hack to hide your bed away, because nobody will expect to see it there. Freak your friends out with this wild pig riding hack. See, if you make your floor out of path blocks and put a gap underneath the floor, you can ride a pig through that empty space, and your head will pop out of the path like a severed head greeting your guests. The nether looks great, and this hack lets you bring it to the safety of your own home. Instead of using a portal, put the obsidian blocks in your wall, then go through and recreate the nether on the other side. You get all the looks with none of the danger. This sneaky hack lets you hide vines under item frames, which you can then place maps over, or paintings. The vines are hidden but still work, letting you climb them like invisible ladders. Duplicate end portals endlessly with this trick. You need to make a world in 1.19 Java Edition, and then update it to 1.20. If you place an end block tower on the exit portal, once you kill the dragon or place an ender crystal, a duplicate end portal will be spawned. Back in 1.14, you can apply multiple different protections on the same armor piece. Stack all sorts of protections to create the ultimate armor, and then update your game so you can have an illegally strong outfit. This weird villager secret can give infinite emeralds. When you cure a zombie villager, any trade you do with them will have a discount. If you cure them multiple times, it will keep going down, and you can end up with weird prices, like getting 3 books for 2 emeralds, which you can sell back 3 books for 3 emeralds, getting you a 1 emerald profit. Sneak up on your friends while sprinting full speed with this trick. If you move to the absolute edge of a block so that the middle of your screen is above the next block over, the game will behave like you're on that block. If the block is empty, then when sprinting, you'll cause no noise or particles. There's a secret tech to throwing splash potions and make them last longer. The game tracks how much time the potion was flying through the air and extends how long the potion effects last. So don't just throw a potion on the ground, throw it into the air to get the most out of it. This house is on fire! But these slabs are completely unharmed. That's because they're made with the new petrified oak slabs. They look like oak, but petrified means they are like stone. They don't catch fire, you mine them with a pickaxe, and to make drum beats when put on a note block using wool. If the warden is spawning, cover it in wool blocks deafens any sound and blocks his view, so it can't see or hear you. Hide secret frogs in little crevices by placing down a mesh of holes. The frogs are so small that they can fall right in, and no amount of hopping will let them out again. This illegal entrance is completely invisible and only 1 block tall. Normally, you would need a trapdoor to get low enough to enter this hole, but a trident actually lets you do the same thing, and if you use a custom map to cover the hole, it's basically invisible. This weird glitch lets you land safely from any height, even in the nether. It doesn't use any water, just powdered snow under a carpet. It slows you to a stop with no damage at all, and it works in the nether too. You can actually walk through walls with this secret ender pearl exploit. Pearls can actually teleport you into the wall, and by walking forward, you'll come out on the other side. You'll take damage from the pearl, but if you have enough health, you can sneak anywhere without breaking a single block. But if you want to know how to see through walls wherever you want, this glitch requires a speed 2 potion and your FOV set to Quake Pro. Then if you run along the wall, you'll be able to see on the other side, showing all kinds of hidden secrets. Placing lava underwater is illegal, but you can actually make your own underwater lava trap just by using a cauldron filled with lava instead. Use Use this for a lava trap your friends would never expect. This item is called the Heart of the Sea, but this is actually a lie! Because when you craft it as a conduit and fully wrap it in 42 blocks of prismarine to activate it, the heart will open. It's actually an eye! Mojang have lied to us! I can't look at people's farms anymore. All I think about is how slow they're growing. That's because people don't know how you're supposed to alternate your veggies in rows. One row of carrots, one of potatoes, and another of whatever else you're growing. For some reason, the plants grow way faster as a result. Redstone activation can be slow over long distances. But did you know that wall connectors count as a redstone connecting block no matter how tall it is? That means you can instantly activate redstone with a contraption like this. I'll never look at chorus fruit the same way again. They can teleport you to crazy places, including into danger, but they can actually save your life. If you're falling into the void, just eat one and it will teleport you to the nearest surface without any fall damage. I have seen the invisible. Everyone knows that Minecraft is made of blocks, and those blocks are generated in chunks. But what if you could actually see those chunks and where the lines are? You can if you press F3 and G and see where those chunks begin and end. The full moon used to be a source of comfort. It looked so pretty. But now all I see is invisible spiders hiding around every corner. It turns out that at a full moon, all sorts of crazy things happen, including a higher chance of invisible spiders spawning outside my house. Everyone knows Jeb, the developer from Mojang. So pretend to be him in a server and people will be falling over themselves to be nice to you. You're a celebrity. Use that power to get items and even money until Jeb finds out and bans you personally. Everyone loves a good water feature, so steal all the water using sponges. They suck everything up so fast and are really easy to dry, so you can take all the water in the game. Don't worry, the fish don't need it. See, they're jumping for joy. Rain arrow hell upon the world with a machine gun. Set up this repeating redstone pattern, then attach a bunch of dispensers filled with thousands of arrows. If the sky filling up with enough arrows to blot out the sun won't get you banned, the sheer amount of entities could make the server crash. Impersonate the server owner by getting an account with a nearly identical name. Then when you enter that server, start causing mayhem, break people's stuff and use terribly foul language. Do this enough and everyone will hate the owner until they realize you're impersonating them and ban you. Skeletons are the most broken mobs in the game with their aimbot. If you don't move, they are practically guaranteed to hit you. But did you know that you can trick a skeleton into shooting itself? When you come face to face with a skeleton, build up a couple of blocks and have the skeleton shoot directly up at you. If you position it just right, you can have the skeleton shoot itself. Did you know the beacon has had 4 different textures in its history? Initially, it was just a slightly smaller glass block. Then they added in this weird little crystal, much like an end crystal. Then they changed it to be this weird diamond-coated glass block, before finally settling on what we have today. In survival, you cannot get end portal frames. Well, you can't get them anymore. As back in 1.9, you actually used to be able to obtain these frames. All you have to do is find this weird blue end portal frame and then place one TNT in the middle and voila! You have an end portal flame. Back in 1.19, Mojang had an amazing idea. Have frogs jump through the air to catch and eat fireflies. It seemed perfect to Mojang and everyone was super excited. However, this is when Mojang found out that fireflies can actually be poisonous to a lot of frogs. So they decided that it was best to remove it from the game. Name tags are a very useful but very difficult to find item, only coming from villagers and dungeons. But did you know that there is a way to name multiple mobs with just one name tag? Simply find a giant slime and name it whatever you want. Then defeat it and all of the baby slimes will have the same name. Crazy, right? X-ray is something that almost every server will ban you for using. However, in single player, it can make finding items considerably easier. This glitch allows you to X-ray within your single player world to find those valuable items. Mojang just cannot get rid of this horrendous mistake. On Bedrock Preview 1.19, Mojang messed up and made a glitch that gave you unlimited bone meal. In the patch, Bedrock Edition would not see grass as something that used bone meal. However, when you use bone meal on grass, it would grow without using the bone meal in your inventory. I'm not sure how useful this is, but it was certainly a bad mistake. Getting experience is very annoying in Minecraft. However, in Bedrock Edition, you could actually get unlimited XP. When the Skulk block was added, using a Silk Touch hoe on the block would both break the block and give you experience. But the Silk Touch would let you pick up the block, meaning that you had a free XP farm. Shields have become one of the most useful items in Minecraft. Defending yourself from a skeleton, use a shield. Blocking a massive nuclear explosion, use a shield. But what happens when you find yourself trapped in the middle of a raid, but you have no shield with a Ravager tearing down your door? Well, let's hope you grabbed a pillager banner, as crafting this with your shield will actually restore it. This seems a bit game-breaking, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. Minecraft Java and Bedrock Editions are the same in every way except for coding, right? Well, actually no. Since in Bedrock Edition with the new sniffer plants, you actually get less value. If you were to craft a pitcher plant in Minecraft Java Edition, you would get 2 cyan dye. However, on Bedrock Edition, the exact same craft only gives you 1. This feels very unfair to those on Bedrock. But how exactly do you get lots of bone meal fast if you can't find a cherry blossom biome? One of the best supplies for this is the soul sand valleys in the nether. You should be breaking each bone block you see here since they give 9 bone meal apiece. Couple this up with the farming techniques I told you about, and you could dominate your entire server with the amount of food you'd have. Yeah, I'm starting to think I like food a bit too much. What if I told you that it's possible to have ladders without having any ladders? For some reason, Minecraft freaks out when it comes to scaffoldings and lets you jump on their edge. This means you can spam the spacebar and get all the way to the top super fast. However, this isn't limited to scaffoldings alone. You can do this with powdered snow too. And getting down is incredibly simple. Just hold crouch while you're on the edge. Bad idea. If you thought that it rains because of clouds, you're a noob. Above the first set of clouds you see is another set of clouds that you can't see. According to Notch, this gray area is actually where the rain actually comes from. What's even weirder is that the rain falls 1 block into the void layer. Yeah, this was definitely never meant to happen. Have you ever wanted a house that your friends will never find? Well, thanks to the giant mushroom, you can hide your entire base within this small mushroom, and then everyone will just stroll on by and would never know you were there. The perfect hiding spot. And if you are lucky enough to find the mushroom island, it is completely mob-proof too. My garage in Minecraft is very, empty. However, thanks to this build hack, I can create a car within my garage. Unfortunately, it is a little bit expensive to do. Simply use slabs, a minecart, and some signs, and you can create the body of your car. The best block to finish off the wheels is definitely the wither skull. Sheesh, time to go gathering, I guess. This next build hack breaks the golden rule in Minecraft, using stairs for your roof. However, you should be using walls instead. It makes this really interesting and different style to your roof. Despite everyone using stairs for the past 10 years, I may consider giving this a go. I hate gathering books in Minecraft. It takes forever and is not even any fun to do. So instead, I use this Minecraft secret to get 700 blocks within an instant. If you find a stronghold with a single library and break each one, you get a maximum of 699 books. I can finally go on my cow killing spree! Minecraft's music discs are really quite weird. However, the weirdest is probably music disc 11. The music disc is so true to itself that it actually lasts 1 minute, 11 seconds, and 101 milliseconds, or 111111. There truly is no disc in Minecraft quite like it. Minecraft has some amazing structures and some less amazing structures. The stronghold is a perfect structure, whereas the underwater ruins are just kind of meh. Well, little did people know that these ruins can have some of the rarest items in the game and are considerably more valuable than you would initially think. Have you ever looked at a map of your world and thought how similar they all look? Well, this is actually because of how the terrain is generated, and this fact will shock you. Minecraft wants to create a world for the viewer that feels as natural and real as possible, and so they use an algorithm based on Perlin noise, which leads to the incredibly diverse landscapes you see in Minecraft. Honestly, just compare this image to a Minecraft seed and you will see what I mean. People often wonder why it took Mojang 5 years to add in a new overworld biome, and it is because of this rejected Minecraft idea. Originally, Mojang were working on a giant redwood forest biome. This most likely would have come out at some point around 2020, or perhaps even replaced a biome like the giant tree taiga. I certainly hope Minecraft brings this back one day. The most useful chests in Minecraft is certainly the ender chest, but sometimes it feels way too small, and as though there is never enough room for all of my valuable items. If this next rejected idea had been made, you would have said bye to all of your storage issues. Expandable ender chests were originally planned up around the same time as the End Islands update, as Mojang wanted players to be able to transfer important blocks from one location to another. However, Mojang decided that the best way to do this would be through shulkers as opposed to expanding an ender chest. Weeping vines can be a lifesaver, so don't make the mistake of forgetting to bring some to the nether. You can't use water there, so to get down from a high place, put a weeping vine up, use bone meal, and it will grow as a perfect ladder down to safety. Needing to know where one biome begins and another ends can be so important. Don't make it hard to see the line between them. Turn off the biome blend option. The hard line between biomes might look weird, but it's so useful. It's worth it. When trapping villagers or animals, the biggest mistake is not using honey. Put it under their feet so they can't jump out of their pen. You'll never have trouble with escaped villagers again. Get that efficiency enchantment on your shovel, but don't make the mistake of going past efficiency 4. It actually can't get faster, so you're wasting your time and experience. You might use TNT to blow a hole in the ground, but that doesn't work underwater unless you use this cool trick. Set a TNT block down, then put a gravity block like sand on top of it. When activated, the TNT doesn't count as a block anymore and the sand will fall into it, making the game think the TNT isn't underwater at all. If it's not underwater, it can destroy terrain just fine. Waterlogging is amazing. thing because pros know how to exploit it. Because TNT doesn't work underwater, that means if your chest is waterlogged, it counts as underwater and so is immune to explosions. Honey blocks are slightly smaller than regular blocks, and pros have learned that you can use them for all sorts of things. Put them in a wall and you can climb a sheer rock face like a mountain goat. Surround a water column and you can still use the water without exposing it to the world. Don't waste your bone meal on sea pickles. Pros know that you should only use bone meal when you have your sea pickle on a living coral block. Then when you use the bone meal, more and more will show up around you. One of the oldest myths in Minecraft is that sugar canes grow faster on sand. So I'm here to finally solve this debate. I've placed 25 sugarcane on every type of sand and dirt, and when I type this command, we'll be able to see exactly which group grows fastest. And see, they all grow at pretty much the same exact speed. It's just random. It doesn't even change if you grow it on cobblestone or something, even though it does look super cursed. Consider that myth ultra busted. Look, we all know how strong the warden is, but I've heard it's so strong that he doesn't even take damage from fire. Okay, lava doesn't damage him, and neither does regular fire. What about fire enchantments? Yeah, it doesn't affect him at all. I guess it would be kind of easy if you could just dump lava on him and run away. Myth confirmed. And apparently, wardens have so much health they can survive a drop from the very top of the world all the way down to bedrock. So let's test it. Yeah, it survives. It turns out you'd have to drop the warden exactly 504 blocks to instantly kill it, which is literally impossible in a normal world. This thing is so powerful. Setting the survival mode to peaceful difficulty will not save you. The fact is, there's one mob that can still attack you in peaceful mode, and that's the llama and its angry spit attack. So don't get on their bad side. You can fly with a rocket and elytra, but the fact is, the best way to fly is to shoot yourself with a slow fall arrow. If you do that, then launch off with a riptide trident, you'll reach the top of the world before the slow fall runs out. Then at this insane height, launch your elytra and fly for miles. Need a truly secret entrance? This hack lets you use a composter as a trapdoor. If you drop an item here, it falls into a hopper minecart, which activates a mechanism and drops you underground, allowing you out into your secret base. Having a villager at home is old news. This hack lets you have a totally tame pillager. Just trap one in a boat and row it back home. He'll be shooting the whole time, but he won't hit you, and will eventually break his crossbow, making him totally harmless. This one is my butler. I call him Barry Halls. This secret block is the most complicated block of them all. The jigsaw block is what the game uses to generate villages and structures throughout the game. You can only get the block through a command, because the blocks delete themselves after it's done its job. This secret item was disabled from the game. The bundle was a bag you could carry and fill with any other items up to the stack limit. If you had emeralds, diamonds, and netherite, you could fit them all into one space. And when you right-click, it launches all the goodies out onto the ground like a bag of candy thrown at your friends. This farmland has no water, and yet it's still hydrated. That's because blocks don't need to be connected to water to get the effects. Hide the water behind map squares and people will call the police because that is illegal! Behold my lava container. It's completely made of wood, but trapdoors don't catch fire, which is definitely broken because you can use them to hold a free-flowing lava block like magic. Lava can be a decoration, but if there's any empty block above it, it makes a lot of noise. Avoid this by putting string on top. You still get to see it, but it's as quiet as a mouse. Works great to silence certain traps too. Redstone works great, but it's a pain to mine it, so why not use leaves instead? This secret exploits the fact that leaves need to update based on what's around them. So by using leaves and wood, you can create machines that don't use any redstone at all. Become the most efficient miner in the game with Swift Sneak. It doesn't just improve your crouch speed, but also your crawl speed. So at one block tool, you can just dig straight forward without having to make space for your bulky body. Threaten real-life violence against a server owner. That's a crime in Minecraft and in real life that will definitely get you banned. Trust me, I would know. People say you should plant a tree to save the planet, so why not plant as many trees as you can? Flood the place with saplings on every block of dirt and bone meal them to make a mega forest so thick you have to bring out the axes just to walk to the farm. Create chaos with a witch spawner. Build this village breeding station, and when the children are born, they'll be funneled down under a lightning rod. Once lightning strikes, they'll all be turned into witches to be let loose on the server, and it will keep happening forever! Or at least until you get banned and your spawner is destroyed. Invite death squads! If you can get new people onto the server, bring the biggest, baddest gamers you know as death squads against your enemies. If anyone crosses you, bring your cronies for a beatdown until they get fed up and ban you. Go nuke the server using slime blocks, pistons, detectors, and a minecart. Build a flying TNT duplicator just like this one and watch it trundle ominously over the server, dropping bombs with every step. Leave no player alive and no building left standing. When you catch fire in the nether, it seems like you are instantly going to die. However, did you know there is actually a way you can extinguish yourself in the nether? Just bring splash bottles of water with you, and whenever you catch fire, splash yourself with them. The gas scream is one of the most terrifying sounds in all of Minecraft. But have you ever wondered where this sound came from? Well, it was actually made by the original and best sound designer Minecraft ever had, C418. He got the sounds from a sleeping cat, and then changed the audio to sound super scary. If you are speedrunning the game, make sure you turn subtitles on. This makes finding things like lava pools or caves so much easier, as it will notify you whenever lava is nearby. Lush caves can make for some amazing locations to build your base, but finding them can sometimes be a challenge. Well, there are actually a few biomes that are guaranteed to have a lush cave underneath them. These are the huge growth taiga, jungle, and dark forest. What do you think the best item for fighting mobs is? Axes maybe? Some people prefer swords or bows, but you're all wrong! Boats are actually extremely powerful, as you can just chuck one down and completely immobilize any mob you want. They even stop Endermen from teleporting. You can name a chest and an anvil, and the name will actually show up in the GUI. It even keeps its name when you break it, unlike any other block in the game. Honey blocks have a crazy feature barely anybody knows about. They're actually just a little bit smaller than a normal block, meaning you can shoot arrows between them. Thank me later, fortress builders. Dolphins are one of the smartest animals in the world, and it's no different in Minecraft. If you give a dolphin enough fish, it'll actually begin to swim to the nearest underwater chest as thank you for feeding it. Endermen are already one of the most creepy and powerful mobs in the game. I absolutely didn't need another buff to make them even stronger, but they got exactly that. Usually an Enderman will just teleport out of the way of an arrow or other projectile. But if they've got nowhere to teleport to, the arrow will just bounce off like it's nothing. Cheaters. Luckily, there is a way to make Enderman completely powerless. Yeah, sort of. Sure, you can just place water at your feet, but that's old news. If you accidentally trigger an Enderman by looking into its eyes, don't look away. For some reason, Enderman won't move at all as long as you hold eye contact. And what do you do from here? Good question. Moving on. Trapping mobs is a very difficult thing to do, whether it be for some kind of farm or to point and laugh at the enemy. But there is one easy way to trap these hostile mobs, and that is by using rails. This has a similar effect to if you had the mobs in Soul Sand, but with a lot more fun. There are a lot of rare mobs in Minecraft, but did you know one of the rarest is actually the pink sheep? The pink sheep only has a 0.1% chance to spawn naturally, making pink wool the hardest wool to find. But I bet you didn't know that there is a mob even rarer than the pink sheep, and that is a baby pink sheep. The baby pink sheep only has a spawn chance of 0.0082%, making it virtually a myth. Who is the strongest boss in Minecraft? The Wither or the Ender Dragon? Well, this is disheartening. Turns out that the Wither and the Ender Dragon cannot actually damage each other at all. Wait, that means that their attention is all on me! Minecraft has countless seasonal events. Presents as chests at Christmas, jack-o'-lanterns are mobs for Christmas, but the biggest seasonal changes come during the April Fool's event, where Mojang have done things like taking away your inventory, making you unable to craft, and even creating a huge multiverse for you to explore. I think I'm a bit lost. I can't tell you the amount of times I've missed out on a shipwreck because of not being able to see through the damn ocean. However, this is easily fixable with a little bit of help. Back in 1.19, if you set your camera at just the right angle on the water surface, you could see through the entire ocean and find anything on the seabed. But Mallow, isn't this technically X-ray? What else did you expect, nerd? You will never believe where the sound design for gas came from. Everyone's favorite Minecraft songmaker, C418, had a cat that often made disturbed noises while it slept. But during the development phase, he thought that these noises would be the perfect tracks to use for the gas. No wonder they seem so disturbing. For years, Mojang has been fixing thousands of bugs, but there is one that is detrimental to the entire game. What is it, you might ask? Cookies don't have sugar in their crafting recipe! I would actually be better off eating cement laced with TNT gunpowder than cookies without sugar. Is that even a cookie at that point? For this one, I want you to look at the sun very closely. Hey, no, not in real life! Not just some crazy ideas back in the day. From a red dragon to a sky dimension, there was one change that was so weird, no one could have guessed why it was even implemented. I'm talking about Notch's decision to make the sun round. In fact, he did exactly that for one beta pre-release. Weird decision for a game based on literal cubes. Tired of having to line your garden in torches? Well, why don't you try this building hack which lets you have the same brightness as glowstone without having the ugly blocks be visible. Break a hole into the ground, place a piece of glowstone or another light high block and then cover it with moss. Obviously, this only works in plains biomes. Have you ever wanted to build a secret base inside of a snowy mountain? You should use powdered snow. If you place 2 powdered snow in front of the entrance to your mountainside base, and as long as you remember to wear your leather boots, you can go in fine, and everyone else will fall into the snow. Everyone knows about hiding a secret entrance behind a painting, but this house will tear apart your friendships, since you can create this huge lava ravine behind the painting. Make sure you make it obvious that there is something behind your painting, and voila! You have tricked your friend into one of the most embarrassing deaths ever. Zombified piglins are the most annoying mob to deal with in the game, mainly because you get an army of them chasing you even if you hit one accidentally. The fix for this is surprisingly easy though. All that's required is a weapon strong enough to one-shot the piglins. Even if it's a stone axe with smite 5, it'll do the job. But if you're a real baller, you could even use the netherite sword. Curing villagers can be an incredibly boring and tedious task, but with this technique, you can cure them all the while you abuse heal them. This is possible if you enchant a crossbow with piercing 4 and use a tipped arrow of weakness. While you might feel inhumane doing this, it's much better than the old-fashioned way of using weakness potions. Plus, the arrow can be reused as many times as you want. You might already know that fireworks make you go as fast as Sonic on an elytra. But if you want to troll your friends, give them a firework star since it looks exactly like a normal firework and deals damage too. Maybe you'll even see them light up the night sky with their body. It's time you stop using diamonds to craft items directly. Ever since the 1.20.2 update, diamonds are now 65% more common, which means finding them is gonna be really easy. We can leverage this to trade with toolsmiths to get emeralds and then use these to buy tools. More often than not, the tools you buy will already come enchanted, which saves you a ton of suffering rather than if you made it normally. This is one of my most favorite strategies to ever exist. Most players already know that Endermen are 3 blocks tall and can easily be trapped. But did you know the same applies to wither skeletons? They are 2.4 blocks tall, meaning if you place blocks at exactly the right position, you can now become a skeleton killing machine. One of the biggest mistakes Mojang has ever made is the exclusion of mobs that appeared in all the different mob votes. Mojang could add all of these mobs into each update and have it be an all-inclusive mob vote update, but instead they only ever decide to add one from a community vote that always seems unfair. Mojang, I did not want this! Speaking of missing updates, one mistake Mojang has still not corrected is fixing the end. The end is meant to be the final location in your Minecraft world. You beat the dragon, open a portal, and boom! You end up in this weird, barren wasteland. Since the Nether update, people have speculated about there being a similar update for the end. This is great, except that the Nether update was 3 years ago, and we still have nothing for the end. I feel like Mojang employees just do not want to give us these updates. One mob that we all miss is the OG zombie pigman. This is for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the zombie pigman was just a perfect enemy that really felt like it belonged in the Nether as a zombie counterpart, but introducing the piglins ruins that feeling. The thing that makes this an annoying mistake, however, is that they do not even drop rotten flesh anymore. Please, Mojang, bring this back! The next mistake was not entirely Mojang's fault. Since Microsoft bought Mojang, they've been trying to get Mojang accounts and Microsoft accounts linked. However, this proved to be massively hidden from people who perhaps use their parents' account, since there are now millions of Minecraft accounts that have been erased entirely from the earth. People often say that Minecraft doesn't feel as colorful as it used to. Well, in Snapshot 18W15A, if you mess with a new biome blend feature, you could turn your Minecraft world into a colorful fever dream. Just fly around and see blue leaves, pink grass, red rivers, and so much more. Honestly, can we have this back, please? There is a feature in older versions of Minecraft that Mojang actually regretted adding. People love playing Minecraft in different ways, and Minecraft Virtual Reality now has a huge player base. However, did you know you used to be able to play Minecraft with 3D glasses? Back in 1.12, there was a 3D anaglyph setting on Minecraft which would let you see the world in 3D. Yet, I have never actually met anyone who used this, so Mojang swiftly erased it from existence. Everyone knows that you need a pickaxe to mine blocks like stone and obsidian, and this is also the case for all the blocks that can be crafted by using these blocks. Well, not exactly. Since the Bedrock edition, you can actually mine a furnace and an enchantment table without a pickaxe. You literally just need to punch it with your fist. Ow, my hand! I need a doctor. Sometimes you just want to watch the world burn, and the best way to do that is by messing with the villagers. You wait for them to go to sleep, and then you start to mess with their village and them. However, did you know that these villagers are tougher than they may look? Since in Bedrock Edition, dropping an anvil on a villager's head while they sleep will do no damage. So you should really think twice before you try to troll these land-dwelling Squidwards. Books are immensely useful in both versions of the game. You can leave funny notes for your friends, blackmail villagers, and sometimes even completely destroy a server. Books have truly infinite possibilities. However, Bedrock Edition doubles the usefulness of these books, since whenever you open up a book in Bedrock Edition, it will have 2 pages! Tridents are one of the most fun weapons within Minecraft, not only being able to launch you into the sky, but also being able to summon lightning strikes against your enemies. But why can they not be fired out of dispensers? Well, actually they can, just not in Java. Since in the Bedrock Edition of Minecraft, you can fire these weapons out of dispensers at light speed. Take that, zombies! Did you know that Bedrock is actually a harder game? Well, sort of, since in Bedrock Edition, your chance of finding various structures, items, and generations are considerably lower than in Java. For example, jungle pyramids in Java have a 42% chance of spawning in a jungle. However, in Bedrock, that chance is only 21%. This feels a bit unfair. Some people have a fear known as leporiphobia, also known as the fear of rabbits. And if you have this fear, then you should probably look away now, since in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, there is actually a giant rabbit! By typing this command, you can actually summon a rabbit that is considerably larger than any other rabbits within Minecraft. Oh, it's so cute! Speaking of enchantment, it's a mistake not to get the mending enchantment first. If you get other enchantments first and leave mending too late, you could break that item accidentally or get that too expensive message, stopping you from enchanting it at all. Nether gold can be really useful in getting gold for the piglins, but it's a mistake to mine it normally because all you get are nuggets. Use a silk touch pickaxe and smelt the ore in a furnace, and you'll get a whole ingot instead, which you can trade to the piglins directly. Burning a lot of coal in your furnace? Don't just put a big stack of coal in the furnace. Combine 9 coal into a block and use that in the furnace. It actually burns longer than 9 coal on their own. Don't get lost in your new mine. The best way to keep track of where you've been, where you're going, and what you're going to do next is to put down signs. Seems simple, but so many people make the mistake of exploring without leaving a trail of signs telling you how to get home. It can also make a great to-do list. Keep your mobs in check or maintaining your aesthetic. Do you hate the look of fences or trapdoors? Simply cover the floor of your pen in honey, and you can then use any block at all to act as a fence. The honey makes sure the mobs won't jump out. It also works on you though, so be careful. A lot of pros do 6 speedruns, and one of the best ways to speedrun the Ender Dragon is to kill it with beds. But making a bed can take time, so why not just steal them from the local village? You're a dragon slayer! You need it more than they do. Protect your villagers. If you rely on them for trades, then they deserve the best protection. And sometimes a golem isn't enough. Simply dispense armor upon them, and they will wear it, including those with thorn enchantments. Let your villagers get zombified. When they trade with you, they set the prices and will give you discounts if they like you. The best way to get one on your side is secure them of zombification. You can even do this multiple times for dirt cheap prices. Snow and powdered snow look almost identical. The pros can tell the difference. Powdered snow will never have an extra layer of snow on top. Plus, they have a slightly different texture to them, showing more varied shades of white and blue. Breaking blocks like clay underwater is so annoying! Sure, there's the old door trick, but that's no fun compared to TNT. But Mallow, TNT doesn't work underwater! Wrong! All you need to do is place sand or gravel on top before lighting it, and it works perfectly. It barely even damages you. You can actually do the opposite as well. Placing an anvil on top of TNT before lighting it will stop it from breaking any blocks at all. It doesn't even damage the anvil. And again, you take almost no damage from the blast. And in case you don't have a big enough iron supply to waste on literally blowing up, there's a cheaper alternative in placing TNT on top of a half slab instead. For some reason, this also reduces the blast radius significantly. But unfortunately, you still take quite a lot of damage. Have you ever wanted to build a huge city in Minecraft but do not know how to install World Edit? Well, you can actually clone builds in vanilla Minecraft. In the chat, if you type /clone and the coordinates for the beginning, end, and destination of the cloned build, it will instantly duplicate your build. Tired of getting huge trees in your tree farm? Well, why don't you stunt the growth of the trees by placing blocks above them? If you place blocks above the height of a smaller tree, then the big trees will not be able to grow, which makes harvesting your trees far easier. What if you want to cook some food but are terrified of going underground for stone? Well, make a campfire instead. You can use a campfire to cook any type of food that a furnace would also cook, and sometimes it looks a lot nicer. Speaking of cooked food, do you constantly run out of coal because you are always having to cook the raw pork chops you gather? Well, why not just light the pigs on fire before you kill them? There's a much easier way to get cooked food, and it saves your valuable resources for more important things. The husks are a very interesting type of zombie, since they don't burn in the daylight. But did you know that if you trick them into water, you can actually turn them back into a regular zombie? If everything in Minecraft is a cube, it only makes sense that the sun and moon should be too. While Notch made them into squares in an old version of the game, we can take this one step further by using the cubic moon and sun packs. This makes it so that your world's day and night cycles are controlled by these massive cubes, although you don't want to look at them directly. Ah! My eyes! I can proudly say that I've never been scared of mobs in Minecraft, but this kind of pride goes down the drain after using Gray's mob overhaul. The simple texture pack makes every mob look like a Frankenstein creation, from the skeletons to the zombies to striders to the wither. Every single mob is going to force you to either take a quick trip to the washroom or just set your monitor on fire. Did I also mention that creepers actually look creepy now instead of looking like snot balls? While Gray's mob overhaul is horrifying, we can upgrade that to trauma-inducing by using spawn animations. Instead of appearing out of thin air like they usually do, mobs now dig themselves out of the ground. Even though this is scary, making mobs scarier than they are right now is something that Mojang should have added to the game long ago. The current textures for leaves look as bad as a bald man sticking chunks of hair on his head. Yeah, it's disgusting. However, better leaves can fight this absolute tragedy by making the leaves look like, well, actual leaves by adding depth to each individual part of the leaf block. It was this simple? The nether portal Mojang designed just feels empty. By that, I mean it's like someone threw up a purple poster. However, we can see its true potential by using the Mystic Nether portal. Not only does this give a massive texture overhaul, but also adds these ancient letters into the portal animations itself. Fun fact, the symbols you see are the actual letters that Minecraft uses throughout the game, the standard galactic alphabet. But that's not even the best part. Your portal can be green, orange, or even red, depending on whether or not you use traditional texture packs. There is only one thing worse than a zombie with a weapon. A zombie with two weapons! Or actually 2 pieces of armor in this case. Because of a bug in 1.8.9, all mobs that could wear armor began holding it in their hands instead. But the weirdest part is that they would only hold leggings and boots. Wait, so does that mean they don't have pants on? The skeleton just got a million times scarier. You've never paid attention to this, but there is something horribly wrong about buried treasure chests. For starters, they generate a chunk coordinates 9 on both the Z and X coordinates. However, the weirdest part is that you'll always find them facing towards the east. I'm never gonna be able to unsee this. The next time you decide to use Riptide without an Elytra, you might want to think again. This is because full damage stacks up for all the time that you're in the air, meaning no matter how softly you land, you're gonna be unaliving yourself in seconds. What's the most horrifying mob in the game? The Warden, Ender Dragon, or even Enderman? Nope, it's parrots. On the surface, they might seem innocent, but in reality, they're beasts. For starters, parrots in Minecraft are coded to gather around every mob they see because Mojang thought it would be close to their real-life nature. Yeah, maybe Jeb should be surrounded by 1,000 dancing parrots and then decide whether that's fun. This is so creepy! Stop staring at me! You might already know that any items you throw on a cactus get destroyed immediately. However, there is one block that can even make the almighty cactus seem harmless, and that is snow. Snow will never get destroyed when placed next to a cactus. So if you're really afraid of cacti, you can use this trick to have a cactus force field. Swift Sneak is already an amazing enchantment, but did you know that if you run and jump into your sneak instead of just sneaking normally, you'll sneak around 33% faster? I really like saying sneak, could you tell? Speaking of sneaking, I just really wanted to say that, you can create secret ladders out of powder snow that only you can use. It's literally as simple as placing a column of powder snow somewhere and chucking on some leather boots, and only you will be able to climb it. What item do you think is used in the most crafting recipes in the game? Wood? Maybe sticks? How about diamonds? Turns out it's actually iron ingots. They're used in 34 different recipes, which is more than anything else. Well, kind of. With the introduction of chiseled bookshelves in 1.20, wooden planks are now also used for 34 recipes in Java Edition. Riveting! This treehouse has the most bizarre staircase ever. If you ever want to make a natural-looking staircase, use trapdoors and slabs. This lets the staircase blend into the natural environment surrounding it. However, it does make the staircase slightly unbearable to climb. Armor stands are boring! However, I found a way to build an awesome base defense mechanism. By using a number of different blocks, you can build these amazing-looking statues to defend your house from any unwanted invaders. They are certainly a lot more imposing than anything else I've ever seen. Tables are kind of boring within Minecraft. You can either have this fence with a pressure plate on top, or this one. However, there is one way to build a table for your dining room that breaks the rules. Simply use trapdoors instead. This still makes the table look normal, but does not make it too big. What a lovely design. Starting out on any Minecraft world can be tough. However, did you know that technically every house you build breaks the rules? According to the official Minecraft handbook, your first house should always look like this. You are kidding, right, Mojang? I have been in this world for years and I still live in a rectangular wooden box. It is a massive misconception that crops need to be in direct contact with water to grow well. In reality, a water source can allow crops within 4 blocks of it to grow. This means with just 1 block of water, you can grow 16 crops. Respawn anchors are one of the most useful items that have been added to Minecraft. There's only one downside. You can only respawn a few times and might often forget to recharge it. But there's an easy way to fix this by placing a dispenser filled with glowstone facing towards the respawn anchor and attaching 2 observers facing each other. You can set up this observer clock that constantly recharges your respawn anchor. Whenever you build your house, never use full blocks for flooring. This is because most slabs have a much larger blast resistance than normal blocks and could make the difference between you sleeping in your bed or your entire house being blown up into pieces. Something that you never knew was that TNT is affected by weapon enchantments. For example, if you use a flame enchanted bow to light up a block of TNT with a looting item in your offhand, you can farm tons of drops instantly. This can be especially useful in farming music discs. You can use these fire arrows to light TNT, but what else does this work with? Eggs are projectiles. Do they work? Oh yeah, they do. Snowballs would just melt, wouldn't they? Nope, that works too. Okay, there's no way the fishing rod works too. It does? That's insane! Oh no. Have you ever been to the cinema and had your eardrums blown out by the super loud noise? Well, legend has it this was actually added to Minecraft. If you find a 2% screaming goat, it has a 1 in 4 chance of dropping the call horn, and when you blow it, I'll say that's confirmed. You can make a door with end rods that mobs can't get through. This one's weird because the end rods are thin enough for us to walk through. So why wouldn't mobs be able to? Oh, I guess it works. That's strange. Maybe they see them as full blocks like they do with trapdoors? Grindstones remove the enchants from items, so surely it makes sense for it to do the same for a notch apple, right? Oh, I guess not. Why would you even want to do that? Wait, what if I put an enchantment on it with an anvil and then put it in the grindstone after? There we go. I'll call that one a maybe. The villagers are hiding a secret. They're actually super fast. Don't believe me? Well, it only happens during nightfall when they're under attack. Their top speed is actually faster than a player sprinting. I didn't know Usain Bolt was white. Mojang put a secret that's hiding in plain sight. See? This end crystal actually has a secret message written on it. It's the word Mojang. It's a fact that game updates can reverse soul changes, but in early Minecraft development, this happened a lot. At one point, they stopped leaves disappearing when the trees were cut down, then changed it back to disappear, then stopped it again, and then again changed it to disappear. A cool secret your friends won't know is that while witches can fight each other, they might never win. Their healing potion is more than their damage, so you can put them in a glass box and set them up as a permanent display. I bet you never knew how weird coal generation really is. Usually, Minecraft creates 2 batches of coal per chunk, with each batch existing at different Y values. One of these exists between Y equals 136 and Y equals 256, while the other is between Y equals 0 and Y equals 192. This gives us a perfect estimate for where we can find the most coal, which is from Y equals 136 and Y equals 192, since the ranges for both batches will overlap at these values. But most times, this generation isn't equal, and blobs spawn randomly, with most of them being found at Y equals 96. Now you know exactly where you should be farming it. When a warden starts chasing you, good luck surviving that. So, what do you do in a situation like this? Well, you're gonna have to make sure your armor is enchanted with Swift Sneak 2 or higher, which will allow you to get away. However, you still need to be careful of the warden's ranged attack because that thing is no joke. And if you have the time, pull down your render distance down to 2 chunks. The moment you stop hearing his footsteps means that he's far enough and will most likely calm down. I'm finally safe! Contrary to popular belief, growing crops isn't as simple as just smacking down a few seeds into the ground. There's actually a technique that goes into how you plant them. From your water source, move out 4 blocks diagonally, and then from this one, continue tiling until you're almost 2 blocks ahead of your water source. Then start tiling in the opposite direction until you have an almost checkerboard pattern like this. Now, I know this looks insanely cursed, but it's the most efficient way to farm. And since these need at least a night level of 9 to grow properly, don't forget to throw on a few torches. Don't mind me and my infinite supply of melon. When Minecraft was still being developed, Mojang did not have any in-game commands to summon items or mobs. So what they would do was code a Minecraft player to have loads of items. The mistake with this, however, came from one of Minecraft's developers. Jeb came forward to tell the public how there was a bad glitch where players would spawn in with hundreds of new items simply because they forgot to remove the code. Jeb said that this even led to them creating a release document that said, "Remember to remove all the debug items. One hilarious mistake Mojang made came while creating the squid mob. Back when Minecraft was just a small indie game, the developers were struggling to code in the squid. Since they did not entirely understand how the system worked, they decided to copy the cow and just mess around with it. Copying a cow, however, led to squids being able to be milked, meaning that for a time, squid milk was actually a thing in Minecraft. One mistake the Mojang developer Serge made actually stayed in the game for 3 years, and no one noticed. According to Serge, he messed up parts of the world generation so that the direction right was actually forward and back was actually left. The funny part of this is that nobody noticed, despite how infuriating this mistake may be. Fireworks and elytras have become paired with each other. You will never use an elytra without having its trusty sidekick nearby. However, this was not always the case. When the elytra was first added to the game, firework rockets did nothing. The elytra was meant to be more of a glider than wings, and so Mojang decided to not implement a way for them to fly, until players discovered all they had to do was shoot themselves with a punch-to bow. Then they would be able to fly to their heart's content. Minecraft 10 years ago was a very different game to what it is nowadays. The game used to be filled with bugs, reused textures, animations, and so much more. However, this next fact may make you rethink the origins of the creepers, since they used to explode into leaves? Maybe at one point the creepers were meant to be some kind of leaf monster, but who really knows, as this may have been just lazy coding. Sometimes you want to get different colored wool, but you are far too lazy to search for the different types of dye. Well, did you know that you can breed different colored sheep together to make different colors? For example, a blue and red sheep bred together will make a purple sheep. This is some really good attention to detail. Players will often use coal in their furnaces. However, this next secret is going to make your smelting considerably easier. If you were to smelt a single block of coal, you would be able to cook 80 raw pork chops. But if you use 9 coal, you would only be able to cook 74. This might be the most confusing math question I have ever heard. Everyone knows that Minecraft was originally called Cave Game before becoming Minecraft. But did you know there was actually another name in between these? Minecraft was originally going to be far more story-driven, and therefore it needed a name truly befitting of this style. And therefore, Mojang once worked with the name Minecraft, Order of the Stone. This is most likely also where the name of the group in Minecraft story mode came from. When you leave and rejoin a world, you get a couple seconds of invincibility. So if you find yourself in a bit of a spicy situation, you can leave and rejoin over and over and swim to safety like you're made out of obsidian. The shield is one of the most overpowered items in the whole game. It can block fireballs, for God's sakes. But did you know that if you go through a portal while holding right-click, you'll be permanently blocking in the next dimension, letting you sprint and attack while literally invincible. You can send secret messages with Skulk blocks. Skulk usually spreads to stone blocks when it absorbs experience, but it won't take over blocks made with slabs. So simply write some letters out with slabs and find a way to cover it. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell just how low durability your tools are while mining, but if you hit F3 and H at the same time, you'll get the exact number of blocks it can mine left, you nerd. The Nether is a pretty uneasy place, and none are quite as uneasy as the Soul Stand Valley, with massive expanses of sand containing trapped souls. But one day they decided to add in these massive bone structures to resemble a long-dead species. Now, what if I told you that this species was originally going to have lived in the overworld? That is right, as there was originally going to be large skeletal remains found deep underground, but unfortunately they had some issues with spawning and were rejected, and instead used as a structure for the Soul Sand Valleys. Andesite, boring. Diorite, boring. Granite, boring. Stone. Why are all these so boring? But did you know there was initially meant to be another stone variant called bluestone? Why this was rejected is largely unknown, but I imagine it would have looked kind of weird. Villagers cover the world in Minecraft, but there are some biomes where the villagers were just kind of forgotten. Jungle villages are confirmed to have at one point been a thing, but I bet you didn't know that initially there were plans to have a village in the mushroom biome. Well, this is one that certainly makes sense, but I would argue that this biome was interesting and rare enough that adding a village would make it next to impossible to find. Nether stars are incredibly important for crafting beacons, but there's something about these objects that you never knew. These are in fact explosion-proof, and this makes sense because they need to survive the wither's death. But that's not the best part. They are still not immune to lava, cacti, and anvils. Wait, hold up! A nether star can survive TNT, but not my diamonds? Minecraft has had a massive run of bugs and items that should never have existed. But there was one that was far more insane than anything you'll ever see. In one of the earliest alphas in 2010, pressing F4 would allow you to spawn in nether portals. What was Mojang even thinking? Did you know you can make TNT blocks freak out completely? By placing an anvil on top of TNT before lighting it up, you can make it do 0 damage. You can do this for massive amounts of TNT and give your friends a heart attack. Or if you want TNT to explode underwater, place a block of sand above it and then light it up. And you might be wondering how this works. Well, you'd be surprised to know I I don't know either. One of the most hyped features for the game was the sky dimension that Notch wanted to add during early development. But unfortunately, this never happened. However, there was something similar in its very first year of launch. In the in-depth version, you could set your map type to floating island. This was similar to the buffet world types we've seen recently, and the entire surface used to be covered with bedrock. Yeah, we definitely need this back. A fish out of water bounces and flops, but you can actually get them jumping way higher. On a slime block, they'll gain height, sometimes up to 17 blocks high. The world-famous creeper is the face of Minecraft, but they actually have a secret past. They weren't designed. They were an accident! Like my birth. The developers were trying to make pigs, but instead of making them long, they made them extra tall. This created the frightening creature we know today. Did you know that spiders never touch the ground? That's because of how the model is made. Even though it's on the floor, the legs never actually reach the block below it. A secret, dirty little trick you can do is build an end portal above your friend's bed. So when they respawn, they'll instantly teleport to the end and will have to live there until the bed or the portal is broken. We've all felt the disappointment of not receiving rainbow wool from a Jeb sheep, but apparently if you surround a wool block with 8 different dice, you'll finally get it. Never mind, there's that disappointment again. My bad. But speaking of dyes, I was told that the white tulip doesn't actually give you white dye. The red, orange, and pink tulips all give you the right dye. But yeah, the white one doesn't. I absolutely love allays, and it turns out they're even better than I thought. Apparently, they're totally immune to our attacks while holding an item. If you punch them normally, they'll just run away. But if you throw them an item, literally nothing can hurt them. These things are just so cute. But allays aren't the only mob that can pick up items. Zombies and foxes can too. So let's try giving each of them a totem of undying and see if they can use them. Okay, zombies can, which is just terrifying, and foxes can as well. But what about allays? I feel truly horrible doing this, but let's try it out. Oh, thank God. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. Putting carpets on top of fences lets you jump over them while keeping animals in. But did you know there's an even better way of doing this? Animals can jump over trapdoors just fine going one way, but if they try to leave, they walk straight into them. This makes it 100 times easier to collect animals and get in and out your pen without 1,000 chickens escaping through the gate. Oxalotls are up there with bees for the cutest mob in Minecraft. They come in these 4 normal colors, and one super rare shiny blue axolotl that's actually a reference to the Pokemon Mudkip. And speaking of fish, kind of, some cruel player discovered that if you take fish out of their favorite aquatic home and place them on a bunch of slime blocks, they'll start to bounce really high super fast. However, it's not likely to last long as there's a few, shall we say, occupational hazards for our bounty swimming friends. The only thing I like more than this little guy has to be the frogs that got added in 1.19. I just wanted to show you what its eating animation looks like in slow motion. That's it. That's the fact. There are so many mobs within the game. However, there is one mob still in the game who Mojang have forgotten about themselves. The giant was introduced over 11 years ago to be this brand new dangerous mob, but then nothing ever happened with it. Imagine walking through the plains biome and suddenly coming face to face with a giant. I know I would be terrified. I found an item that was immensely broken in its pre-release. But the weirdest part is that it's not even an item anyone would use in a normal playthrough. In pre-release 1.17, Mojang made the hanging root item have way too big of an icon when dropped on the floor, making it considerably larger than anything else in the game, and it isn't even that nice of a block. For the most part, Mojang has made a lot of textures very successfully. However, have you ever had a deeper look at some textures that perhaps are not as good as they should be? Time for a quick fire! The first messed up block is actually redstone dust. It does not even connect up properly. Iron armor is a really useful early game armor set, but have you ever noticed how the iron helmet does not even match what it looks like in your inventory? Or my personal favorite, the cauldron being misaligned by 1 pixel. I have ruined Minecraft for a lot of people today. Speaking of, if you're looking for a block to build your TNT-based farms out of, waterlogged leaves might be for you. They're totally blast resistant and super easy to get a hold of. Just be careful you don't accidentally flood your redstone. End portal flames are one of the only impossible blocks to break in Minecraft, right? Wrong! Using a red mushroom placed just right, you can grow it with bone meal and use it to totally delete the frames. Chests usually can't be opened when they've got a block above them, so explain how this works. It's actually just a stair placed backwards. This also works with any other block that's not just as big as a normal block, such as farmland or path blocks, and leaves you a bunch of new opportunities to hide away your goodies. Skeletons can usually see you from about this far. It's around 16 blocks, which, to be fair, is pretty good for a life form with bones for eyeballs. But if you chuck on a mob head like a zombie or skeleton skull, this distance gets much smaller and allows you to get as close as 8 blocks away without them seeing you. The only problem is that now I can't see anything. Mojang. Speaking of skeletons, there's actually a super clever way to get music discs that I bet you didn't know. The arrows will turn to fireballs when shot through lava, and can even light TNT. This means you can collect a bunch of creepers in a pit and blow them all up with a skeleton like this, and end up with dozens of music discs almost instantly. Hitting a mob with a channeling trident in a thunderstorm makes possibly the worst noise in the game. It's so loud! Villager noises are almost as big as Minecraft itself at this point. That's why you'd be surprised to know that until Java Edition 1.6.1, they made no noises at all. Trying to imagine a silent villager is almost as bad as imagining a white enderman. That's racist. Night vision is one of the most useful enchantments in the game, but use this incorrectly and you'll be getting yourself into a fever dream. Oddly enough, looking at the horizon with this effect active makes it so that the entire sky flashes with different colors. Would you believe me if I told you Minecraft came out 17 years before its release in 2011? I'm talking about Minecraft 3D that was released April 1st, 1994. If you haven't figured it out already, this was an April Fool's joke by Mojang, but I have to say, it looks amazing! Did you know it's possible to burn yourself to death underwater? I don't know why you'd want to do this, but just place a cauldron filled with lava and sit inside.
Mallow, how did you even find out about this?
Hey, listen here, stop asking so many questions. Most Minecraft players nowadays play on Java Edition, but there is a hidden feature within Bedrock Edition that desperately needs to come to Java Edition. In the Bedrock version of Minecraft, the Fire Aspect enchantment has such a useful feature. Fire Aspect can actually light blocks like TNT, campfires, and candles. I would love this in my world, but I know I would accidentally light my house on fire or something. The Sniffler is the newest addition to Minecraft, with the ability to find some incredibly rare flowers for your world. But did you know that the baby version of the Sniffler actually has its own name? The Snifflet is the baby version's name, and I just love this name and want to have 1,000 of them. Minecraft has had some real attention to detail during their lifespan, but this next Minecraft secret is actually quite surprising, as the skeleton has a very specific chance to be left-handed. In Minecraft, most mobs will carry items or weapons in their right hand. However, the skeleton has an 11% chance to carry its bow in its left hand, mirroring the amount of people in the world who are actually left-handed. I am very impressed. Minecraft blocks will have a set rotation, but back in the beta version of Bedrock 1.16, Mojang were trying to figure out a way to give certain blocks a different rotation. The texture of copper ore in particular had a chance to be randomly rotated, but for some reason this was eventually scrapped. Anyone who has played a lot of Minecraft will know that a tick refers to every moment Minecraft is processing. However, did you know that there is a difference between a redstone tick and a Minecraft tick? One Minecraft tick is roughly 1/5 of a second, however, a redstone tick is 1/10 of a second. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to tell you why this is though. The elytra may actually be the most over-designed item in Minecraft. Elytra, while yes, technically wings are not actually used for flying, they work as a shell for a phantom's wings that the players then use to fly. Does this mean that once upon a time, phantoms existed within the end? Gosh, I hate them enough in the overworld. I don't want to deal with them in the end. In the 1.6 update of Minecraft, they added horses, and it turns out this was brought in from an unofficial fan mod. Mojang saw Dr. Zark's Mo Creatures mod, and even copied the horse model itself. Wandering traders look great, but what your friends don't know is that you can breed their llamas, and the babies will keep the clothes of their parents. It's a weird little detail, but you can make a whole army of fashionable llama. Mojang love making secret references to other games, such as when an evoker sees a blue sheep. The evoker casts a unique spell, makes a weird wololo sound, and turns a sheep red. It's a reference to Age of Empires, where monks would convert enemies to their side, chanting wololo and changing their color. The only plant in Minecraft that grows on a wall is a cocoa bean. However, in a lot of house gardens, this can look a bit wrong. What you should be doing instead is mixing in redstone ore with the wall, and then covering it up with vines. This creates this incredibly unique hanging roses design that certainly no one at Mojang ever planned. Unfortunately, mirrors cannot be added into Minecraft. This is largely due to how Minecraft runs, and mirrors can really affect that. However, some players have taken it upon themselves to create a slightly different illusion to create mirrors and reflective surfaces, rebuilding the entire room as a reflection. This works really well for any reflective floors, and breaks the rules that there are no mirrors in the game. Signs are one of the most useful items in Minecraft, perfect for organizing your items once and then completely disregarding them. However, did you know that you can see sign text for a candle in the Bedrock edition? This glitch desperately needs to be patched by Mojang, but hey, you should listen to the sign. There are very few blocks in Minecraft that will speed up minecarts, and even to this day, people are infuriated by how slow they can be. But if you mix a boat and a minecart and then add a villager into the mix, you can actually make minecarts go faster. And the best part is, you do not need to mine for hours to get all the gold and redstone. Now I can make my massive gold statue. Everyone knows how to break bedrock with TNT, but did you know that there is an even easier way to break bedrock that doesn't require you to spend hundreds of hours building elaborate machines? Just get yourself a drip leaf and bone meal it. That will destroy
destroy anything in its path. One of my favorite items in the game is the goat horn. However, in Snapshot 22W17A, if you went into your creative inventory on the snapshot, it seems that Mojang wanted the goat horn to be the do-it-all block. Do-do-do! Come, my goat army!
Normally, to craft end crystals, you need to have an Eye of Ender, a gas tier, and 7 glass. But what if I told you that you could get it within a fraction of the time with just a little bit of luck? In Minecraft 1.9, Snapshot 15W44A, it was possible to obtain end crystals from skeleton trap horses. Although finding one is rare, it's much less annoying than having to deal with the Enderman and gas. I will never figure out why Mojang ended up removing this. Do they hate us or something? Call me a weirdo, but I love the sniffers because I'm a massive farmer. So you can imagine my surprise when I found out how to insta-hatch their eggs. All you have to do is place 2 moss blocks and a sniffer egg in front of a sticky piston. Let this run for 10 minutes and the moss blocks will now be glitched permanently, allowing you to insta-hatch sniffer eggs. Hey, stop coming after me! Hey, no! I bet you wouldn't believe me if I told you that it's possible to loot ocean monuments without even entering them. Mark the spots I'm showing you on these pyramid-like structures that are on the outside of the monument. You can pick either side, and all you have to do is place down a door and dig the block under you. If you see dark prismarine, congratulations, because you've just hit the jackpot! This makes finding gold a million times easier. You can get floating Minecraft tracks by placing them on trapdoors and flipping them down. Aside from this just looking really weird, you can make some pretty crazy traps with this, as all the rails disappear at once when anything updates them. While testing this, I realized you can actually walk underneath trapdoors even though you're way taller than this gap. And your head even sticks into the trapdoor.
Yo, Mallow, is that a fresh cut?
No, please! Shulkers are one of the most mysterious mobs in Minecraft. I can't even figure out what they're supposed to be. But it turns out if you throw an invisibility potion at one, all is revealed. The Shulker's shell disappears, leaving the Shulker itself floating in midair. I'm still no closer to understanding what on earth this thing is, but I guess he's like cute. It's common knowledge now that villagers are the best way to farm items, but it takes so long to cure them. But it turns out if you place iron bars near the zombie villager, you can actually speed it up a bunch. The wiki says this works with beds too, but when I tested this, it seemed like it was fake. But let me know in the comments if it works for you. Luckily, this crazy lightning generator isn't quite as loud. You can make it with a piston, lightning rod, and channeling trident, and having a bunch of them allows you to do, well, not much really. But I guess you can trap your friend in a box like this and give them an electrifying experience. Did you know that you can actually totally skip the Ender Dragon fight? By building a simple flying machine like this, you can fly all the way to the outer islands without so much as touching the Ender Dragon, allowing you to raid as many end cities as you want for all the loot you could ever dream of. However, the only way out is, down there. So do this at your own risk, I guess. Snow golems will die almost instantly underwater, while iron golems will sink but just kinda chill. This is already strange enough, but it gets even weirder when you realize you can actually spawn snow golems underwater, but not iron golems. But while we're down here, here's another cool underwater fact that might even save your life. Next time you find yourself stranded outside at night, swarmed by mobs and unable to sleep, try heading into a river or ocean. You'll be able to chuck a bed down and sleep just fine. You can even breathe down here for some reason. Everyone knows that the Wither is immune to arrows in its second phase, but I bet you didn't know that fireworks will still damage it, letting you sit back and relax as you watch the show. Oh crap, wait, it can still hit me! Baby foxes might be the cutest mob in the entire game, which is why I'm sorry that I have to show you this next fact. In some older versions, they're actually so adorable and tiny, and if they find themselves in water, their mouth is actually underwater and they'll end up drowning. Poor thing. Speaking of golden apples, apparently there's always one single golden apple in this chest right here, and it's actually the key to a secret room in the ancient city. If you take it down here and eat it in this exact spot, this door will open. All that's inside is a bunch of redstone stuff I don't understand, but hey, it's true. And if we head back up, there's this huge abandoned portal-looking thing right in the middle of the city. But have you actually seen anyone like this thing before? Here we go! It works! Let's see where it takes us. Oh, just the nether. Probably because this is actually just obsidian. This one's false. Apparently, you can actually make 2 block jumps with cactus or fire damage. You just have to time it perfectly. God, but I did it! I've heard you can do it with a bubble column too. Oh yeah, that's way easier and much less painful. Everyone knows about the iconic Minecraft music created by David Rosenfeld, or as he is better known, C418. But did you know he actually has a plethora of songs that were never added to the game? Whether that be for disagreements with Microsoft or for his own personal requirements for a song to be good enough, we will likely never know. Minecraft seed hunting is really quite cool, and players have even found things like the title screen, the world icon seed, and even this next secret seed speed which has a huge generation of Notch's face. Sometimes you can't help but feel like Minecraft is lacking a lot of customizability. However, in older versions of the game, this wasn't the case. As back in Minecraft 1.7.2, there were some super secret endings that would let you change how the entire game looked. My favorite addition to the game from the Caves and Cliffs update was definitely the axolotls, and in particular the highly elusive blue axolotl. However, did you know that this is the only version of the axolotl that cannot be found in real life? The blue axolotl was actually suggested by user Dark Eyes Flame on Reddit, where he suggests a blue axolotl be added to reference Mudkip from Pokemon. Just look how adorable he is! Have you ever wanted to place the same sign above multiple different chests? Well, this little known detail will save you tons of time doing this. If you are in a creative world and you press Ctrl plus middle click on a block, it will copy everything about the block, including any writing. This even works for chests and lets you duplicate the items. I will be rich beyond your wildest dreams! Lightning is one of the weirder weather types within Minecraft. If lightning strikes a creeper, you get a charged creeper. If it strikes a pig, you get a zombie pigman. But what happens if it strikes a turtle? Well, you get a bowl. Now all I need is some milk and cereal. The compass is probably one of the most useless items in Minecraft. Its only function in vanilla Minecraft is pointing towards the world spawn. Well, actually that is not entirely true. If you were to go into your inventory, you would notice that the direction of the compass can actually change based on where you are in your world. That is because the compass will always point to the north when you are in your inventory. Now I know where to avoid. It's cold up there. Everyone knows that raw chicken in Minecraft has a chance to poison you. This is largely based on real life. However, did you know that crouching in Minecraft while eating raw chicken can actually lower the chance you have of getting poisoned? I think this is a reference to what happens when you eat chicken that may not be as good as you thought. Everyone knows about Minecraft Java, Bedrock, and Education Edition. But did you know there is actually one secret version of Minecraft you probably didn't know existed? Minecraft, much like many other games, has an entire version that is solely for China. Because China is the largest video game market in the world, of course Minecraft would make an exclusive version for China. Slabs are one of the most useful blocks in Minecraft for building a roof. Seriously, I don't ever use them for anything. But what if I told you that at one point you could have been able to use slabs as a wall? Well, originally Mojang planned on adding in vertical slabs, but thought people would use them as a wall, so instead they created the wall block. Right, I can definitely find the stronghold now. Let me just throw this ender away. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it is trapped down there. Time to mine for it, I guess. How did I not find it? I just wish the Ender Eye cleared the blocks in its path. Well, at one point, this is an idea that Mojang brought to the table. However, they were concerned this ruined the adventure aspect of finding a stronghold, so they removed it. Ah, there it is! This is a straight redstone trail. Pretty simple, right? Well, this is a straight line of redstone going up. Why is this so complicated? Well, originally it wasn't supposed to be. Mojang actually rejected the idea to have redstone be vertical as well as horizontal. Imagine all the amazing elevator builds and more I could make if they had not ruined this for me! It's no secret that Mojang are sometimes a little lazy when it comes to textures, with bedrock just being an overly saturated stone, and endstone being an inverted version of cobblestone. But I bet none of you realize that the jungle log texture is just a rotated version of the oak log. Speaking of being overpowered though, did you know that creepers can climb ladders? I'm already terrified of getting ninja bombed by them in ravines. Why do I have to be scared of this now too? But creepers have been hiding another secret from us too. If they're affected by a potion effect from an arrow, or you know, a potion, when they explode, they'll leave a lingering pool of that potion effect wherever they stood. What can you use this for? Don't ask questions! Moving on! There is nothing better than a nice relaxing bath after an immensely stressful day, and now you can have one of these in your house. All you have to do is use stairs, slabs, some water, and a minecart, and you can create this relaxing looking bath. Time to kick back. Wow, too hot! I love building houses with a nice medieval aesthetic, and one thing every medieval house needs is a well. And thanks to this rule-breaking Minecraft build, you can create the illusion of a bucket going into a well. This is very satisfying to look at. There are no food items I can have on display in my house, so I found out that thanks to this neat little trick, you can make different kinds of fruit barrels. By using different coral blocks surrounded by spruce trapdoors, you can make a blueberry barrel, an apple or berry barrel, and a banana barrel? Sponge barrel? Some kind of yellow fruit barrel. But what if you hate long build tutorials and just want a house that keeps it simple? Well, this base has that, and more. I mean, it's so small you can't even stand up fully. But who cares? Just be careful, since it only takes one creeper explosion for it to be completely destroyed. Wait, what have you done? Most people think that when breaking melons in Minecraft, you should use an axe, but this is actually not true. While yes, it is true that axes are the best tool for breaking a pumpkin when it comes to breaking melons, you should actually use a sword instead. I suppose it is the closest thing to a chopping knife in Minecraft. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. whoosh. Enderman noises are really creepy, but don't worry, as this Minecraft secret will make them far less creepy. The Enderman voices are actually just humans saying hello and what's up, but being played backwards and distorted, making them far less terrifying. Well, for the player. For me, look, I'm more terrified. Flower picking is nobody's favorite pastime, but did you know that red flowers are actually considerably rarer than yellow flowers? If you have not already noticed, flowers spawn way too much, so you will never actually see this fact in action. Climbing ladders is a very tiring job, but imagine how much more tiring it would be if you did not have any arms. Well, at one point, creepers were actually able to climb up ladders, and it looked hilarious.